Get to record. I got it.
Well, this was a rather interesting way. This morning, me and the others got up with Julius and Moonstone and the dwarves in that gnome we had. We gathered our supplies, got ourselves together, and Moonstone and I fixed up the wagon so there'd be a barrier for the miners to be hiding behind in case we were attacked by goblins on the road. After gathering our stuff, we headed off and made our way for the first day of the journey. There, we ran into some unexpected notes as a pair of goblins we met on the side of the road. We sent Gallo up ahead to take care of the situation. I believe he did a rather good job about it, but it created a bit of tension with Julius robot, but he'll have to learn that the world's not as black and white as he thinks it is. In either case, we kept moving on after we took care of them and set up camp that night. We moved the wagons off to the side while I set up my old trick by setting up a fake camp to draw away attention from the rest of us. It didn't work as well as I had hoped. When the second watch came, after Moonstone and Xavier had talks about maths and such, Gallo and as well as Julius decided to have their little discussions, but during their watch, they heard the trap go off. We went to investigate, and to my rather stupid ability, I got a little carried away and ripped free the bag and set up the bear trap, causing it to strike me. During that time, the goblins ambushed us to the struck, but luckily we were all able to gather together and strike them down. Julius, on the other hand, had a bit of a breakdown during the fight, it would seem. Running and screaming and firing wildly. But even though he fired wildly, the gods were on his side for luck as he struck two of the goblins dead. Gallo killed another, and I got the last one as we smashed them together. But in the end, we've got things to take care of now, as I'm looking over and cleaning my axe off this fucking goblin down below me.
Sure. You can take an inspiration.
Yay. I feel
So,
fine.
as the battle finally ends, whatever cries and calls the goblins had fading on the night wind, you all sit, breath heavy, sweat pouring, exhausting a bit, more than sweat pouring. You all
Perhaps
kind of
fear.
look around. You're no worse for wear, truly. A few minor injuries here and there. The miners seem fine, ready to defend themselves if something came too close, but nothing made it there. You all can look to each other, see each other's faces, kind of in what's left of the candlelight, or of the firelight that's now gone, or through your dark vision.
Moonstone will go over to where he threw the fairy fire and pick up his device, and then walk over to Gallo and just say, "Oh, there's a right bitch away, mate."
As you do that, Grotus walks over. I don't think this is over yet. Gallo, come here for a sec, will you?
He acknowledges Moonstone. And can you repeat what Moonstone said again? Because I had to transfer my audio for a second. Oops. Bless you! Bless you!
Bless you.
Yeah, sorry, say that again.
Moonstone was just saying, "Oh, there's a right bitch of a fight, wasn't it?"
How many were there? 1, 2, 3. Just a couple more. 4, 5. This isn't bad. However, if there's going to be a tribe ahead, I think that'd be a messier fight.
Yep. As Moonstone then just pulls an arrow out of his shoulder. Here's another one for you.
Thanks.
Kind of look, and that arrow is once again tipped with that same red bone.
Gallo will take the arrow, take a cloth out of one of his pockets and just give it a quick wipe and put it into his quiver. Then he will look at Grotus heading towards his way.
Moonstone, by the way. You can choose if you've been stabbed before. But whatever hit you, there's this pain, and then kind of as it's pulled out, you just start to feel numbness, and you can notice where that bone kind of like pierced, there's just like swelling. Just your body kind of like slowly almost having this small lump where the arrow pierced your flesh.
Do I know what this may be?
Roll a nature check.
Oh god, white nature.
Would Gallo notice this as he was taking the...
Oh, I know, that's intelligence. 13.
We can say you did. You can roll a nature check as well. I don't mind too.
Why does it keep logging me out every time I'm making a new window?
It's been happening to everyone.
Yeah, there's some weird. I found the way to fix it, Zaku, is when you log back in on the new window, keep it open, and then just open up the same window again and open it up, and it seems to transfer over.
Okay, because I usually make my character sheet like on a separate thing.
Oh, I know, but that's you open up in a separate thing, and when you log into the character sheet, it might not load the stats, and then just do it again with the other one open. Like, just do it twice in a row. That's what I did to fix it.
All right. I think it's good now. What am I rolling? Nature?
Yeah, nature.
I'm not great at that, but...
Well, it's hard. 16. Moonstone, as you kind of like look to it, it hurts. It's clear that whatever it pierced, while it's not debilitating by any means, especially with the single puncture you suffered, it is certainly annoying and painful, but it seems to be just a natural kind of... Whatever produces this, be it like some kind of poison or irritant, causes this swelling both upon the puncture and upon its removal. Gallo, as you kind of look to it, you notice the same things. You start to notice some similarities, though. Both in the nature of whatever this red bone is and the nature of the kind of swelling it leaves. You can very much kind of almost compare it to what would happen if someone pricked themselves on a porcupine, as if this is a quill of a bow.
Okay. And me not really knowing porcupine anatomy, I'm assuming they have some sort of natural little venom, whatever, that's at the end.
Yeah, you would know it's... To call it a venom is to overstate it. In incredible high doses, it can be terrible. Like, you can face severe swelling, should you have enough of them, but until you're hitting literally, like, the dozens of them, you're fine.
Okay. He'll tilt his head at the swelling, look at the bow, or not the bow, the arrows, and back to Moonstone. I think you should be fine. You didn't get hit by any more of those, but still be careful. It's like a porcupine.
Could I try to take one of the arrows, and from what Gallo said, can I try to make some sort of antitoxin or solvent? Tools?
I'll say you could, if you wish to kind of like take an hour or two. You could attempt. It's a lot of you don't know. Like, you can very much get a sense, like I said, it's not debilitating. It's just a bit of swelling. It's as if it's like a minor allergic reaction, if anything.
Yeah, I'd still rather try to get rid of it if I can.
That's kind of trying to go through the process of like either making an anti-venom or making like an antihistamine.
Okay, I will.
Like, it's not a simple process, unfortunately, for these kind of things. You get a sense that so long as you don't irritate it, it'll go down in probably like next hour.
All right, never mind then.
I think I scraped my knee.
Grotus kind of looks over at Julius doing that, rolls his eyes for a second.
Gallo, can you look up ahead? I want to make sure there's no other goblins nearby. Vibe seems a little low.
Yeah, I'll be back.
And he goes, yep.
Also, meanwhile, He wants to check out these other dead goblins real quick. What do they got on them?
You're an investigation check.
Oh god, it's bleeding. Oh wait.
Oh, no!
man.
It's you kind of take a moment and you kind of like start moving to look at, and they're just like in pools of their own blood. And it's kind of like, you know, you probably could if you wanted to search through, but at the point of where it's starting to soak in, and the fact that you can't discern color right now, to the fact you're relying on dark vision, it's all just like one solid color, and you're kind of just like, maybe, you know, maybe I don't go digging my hands into goblin blood.
The Gallo, like, he sees all this mush of goblin, and he realizes that he stepped into a bit of the pool of blood, and he stares at the bottom of his sole of his shoe, and he steps away and just kind of wipes it on the cleaner parts of the grass before continuing forward.
Fair enough. So if you're attempting to kind of like look through the area real quickly, just see if there's anything else, roll a perception check. And the stealth check if you're trying to do this without being seen.
Ooh, okay. Today's not my day, guys.
You know, you've never killed goblins before, but something about, and especially the fact that the scent is kind of following you now, something about the smell of their blood is just bad. And it's kind of just distractingly bad. It's almost like this very like heavy kind of ammonia smell is like following you a bit. And it's just an irritant. Though looking around, you don't see any sign of more goblins.
Can we move at some point? It's kind of sounding like the slaughterhouse itself kind of expired. Just being honest.
In a minute there. Xavier, come with me for a sec. I need to check something over. I could use your help.
Sure, 1 second, and he walks on over before tripping and falling directly over on a on an upraised tree root, and you just hear, "Stop! Damn it!"
Grotus rolls his eyes.
You can light a torch, lad.
He kind of like rummages through anything that he has, and it's just, right, I still have one. And he takes it out and snaps his fingers and kind of walks back. There's a noticeable bit of sludge on the front part of his hair, but he ignores it.
Grotus takes a quick glance over at Julius. Is he still crying in a corner?
You see him like lightly tapping his knee, pulling his hand away to check for blood, not seeing blood, checking again. No blood. Checks again. No blood.
Meanwhile, I'd like to point out the 3 arrows in Grotus, he hasn't pulled out yet. He's just walking around with them in him.
You see that like slight bit of swelling, like a ballooning.
But a scraped knee, guys. Come on.
Grotus walks over to Julius. Julius!
What?
Keep an eye on the miners for a sec, will ya? Make sure they're safe.
Oh, right. They're where are they?
Over there.
He points to the direction that they're all... You know what? Light a torch! What is you fucking...
Kind of, yeah, looking, you do see all 5 of them, most of them kind of holding what seems to be either like a small like hand axe or like a blackjack club.
Julius walks over to them and is just like, "Don't worry, guys, you're safe now."
You see the dwarven woman that's kind of been leading this group. She kind of like looks to you and it's like, "Oh, really? Gonna keep us safe then, are you, boy?"
I'm a man, but yes.
Oh no,
Moonstone
you're
will walk
not.
over. Moonstone will walk over and just say in Dwarven, "The rest of us will keep you safe."
Jules just kind of looks at this exchange, just like, seriously, why does everyone keep talking this way when I don't understand.
In any case, as they're having their talk, Grotus would like to grab Xavier, and I'd like to see if, with his assistance, since we're both proficient in survival, to see if we can find the tracks of these goblins where they came from, to see if they came from where we went, where we're going, or to the left or right of our camp. So basically, so we know if we're going into danger or we're walking away from danger for tomorrow.
For sure. I'll say the two of you can either make separate checks or make them together. Choice is yours.
I think we both got a 3, don't we, Judah?
Yeah, actually.
So we might as well make them
Okay,
separate.
both of you
and
can
we'll-
do as
All
you
right.
like.
Meanwhile, they're doing that. Gallo's sitting
22.
back.
22 from Heath.
Woo!
Nice.
Oh, that's. Oh no. There we go.
5.
Just about what I expected.
Xavier,
He's still
it's
rubbing
dark.
the sludge out of
Just
his
going by
eye,
the light of the
man.
torch, it's kind of an odd scenario. Grotus, you kind of look and you immediately kind of think, oh, you know where to start looking for where they came from. You kind of go over to where you would set your traps. You kind of start to notice where it was clearly, they found the traps. They managed to slightly move them. There's this clear points where they've been to the ground. You kind of follow those for a moment. You see, you would know kind of from where you are right now, Teleburg itself and the road to Teleburg run directly through the. Hold on, I need to pull up my notes. Through the Alania Forest. It seems that it just goes deeper and deeper into the wood, kind of northwestish.
Is that-
It's not the way you're going. You guys are kind of going in a northeast direction.
but still,
so-
it's not exactly, but it's parallel still. So okay.
Yeah, it would be parallel. You're not sure if you'd be cutting distance from it or or getting closer, but you very much get a sense that they weren't coming from where you were, and they weren't coming from where you're going. They're very much kind of from a different direction.
Yeah, so more east to west, like I was saying, left and right. So it's
Yeah.
parallel, not direct or back. So that still leads Grotus to think,
We might not be out of the woods of this yet, then.
as he kind of scratches his chin.
Xavier, you found out anything yourself?
You would look behind you, and he still kind of has his hand rubbing over his eyes, and he kind of takes his hand off. The eye is definitely red, as the sludge may not have been 100% sacred with all the things that were being thrown around earlier. And he's just like, yeah. I really can't see too far. A torch can only do so much.
Never mind. I know whether they're coming from the northwest. We're heading out northeast. There's a good chance we might run into more of them on the road tomorrow. They're not behind us.
Can I? Sorry, I know that we're kind of busy, but do you mind if I ask you something?
Sure, Xavier. What is it?
He kind of scratches at his arm a little bit, bats at a fly that kind of runs a little bit too close to his ear. Does things smell less when you're around it more often?
He kind of tilts his head.
What you mean, like building up being used to it sort of thing?
No, it's just, back over there. I mean, I kind of didn't see it on Gallo's face because I couldn't see him, but a few breaths and whatnot that he took, it kind of signed to me that he himself isn't exactly too fond of the livestock carrion that is kind of emanating from them goblins, and I was just kind of scratches his arm again. I ain't really been in a combat like that before, so that was just...
Grotus looks at you and starts nodding.
I think I see what you're starting to get at. Yeah, things get easier. The smells get less intrusive, if that's how you'd like to put it.
Yeah. Thanks. I didn't know. Or at least I always assumed, but, you didn't seem to bother by it. Honest to God, if my eye doesn't get better, I might actually have to go ahead and see a healer. It's really itchy.
He kind of looks at you.
Your eyes being itchy.
Well, yeah, I kind of slipped, and I'm not entirely sure what's around me, and kind of been freaking out over these last few that I might have slipped into some goblin guts. I don't really actually know, but
Grotus rolls his eyes.
If you're worried about some sort of infection, lad, I wouldn't be. Goblin guts are no different than anybody else's.
I mean, I don't know, man. Smelt a few corpses carrying, and this smells a lot different.
Gallo is walking back over and says, but blood-borne pathogens are still a thing. Wash your face.
Right, I'll make sure to burn off my own damn head later.
Yeah, you know what? Don't worry about it. I can take a look at you.
Yeah, just maybe in a second when we're out of the out of the woods, literally.
Grotus kind of looks at you and kind of gives himself a bit of a sigh, and he kind of reaches into his pack and tosses you a small bottle.
Do you like this?
It's cooking alcohol, but it should do something to help clear up any sort of infection you're worried about.
That's gonna burn like a bitch.
Yeah, he's used the fire, ain't he?
Actually, he kind of looks at this, and then we'll go ahead and he. I will say that in this case, he actually looks at it, takes it, and pours it directly on his eye, and he blinks a few times, but he doesn't seem to give much of a reaction other than blink, 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 blink. Ooh, man, this is kind of intense. Ugh.
Moonstone just is looking wide-eyed and just says, "Alright then," and he's gonna go over to the goblins and see if he can't find anything alchemically salvageable off of them.
Goblin blood.
And, you know, I'm an alchemist. I'm sure I collect very weird things.
You could certainly, if you wish, to collect a vial of goblin blood
Sure.
or other fluids.
Well, would I know of any parts of the goblin that might be useful for alchemical reagents?
You know goblins are... Actually, you know what? Roll an intelligence. Or roll a history check.
Okay. 20.
20? In rare cases, it is said that some goblins can develop traits that is unique to their environment, but as they are born and usual, like these ones seem like rather practical, normal goblins, they don't really have any special unique abilities to them or unique kind of differences from, in their parts than many other humanoids.
Okay, so nothing about them would be unique.
Yeah.
Alright.
It's blood and guts, and while it's in a different shape than yours, it's not magically different.
Alright.
So to say.
Alright, in that case, can I look around on their corpses, see if I can't find anything interesting?
Someone already did try, but I'll say you can make another investigation check. Bit higher of a DC.
Okay.
Still looking through...
Can't be worse than an @1, whatever it is.
Piles of goblin. 15. You kind of take a moment. You use a stick and kind of prod through to see what is covered in goblin blood and what's only partially. You get the sense they've got some pretty standard equipment, weapons they've salvaged or tried to create. More of those quills that you find kind of scattered across them, both as handheld weapons and parts of arrows. Looking through, you find that one of them does have a small bag of coins. The bag is kind of soaked, but the coins they're coins. The monetary value doesn't change just because they're dirty. You do find about a handful of 37 copper and 7 silver.
Ooh.
Seems one of them just collected it from wherever he found it. But other than that, and other than the stuff you found on other goblins already, a lot of the same stuff.
Any weapons, are any of the weapons made of metal?
Yeah, there's a lot of, you see, kind of look through, some of them have, daggers, some of them have, what are essentially, chipped away short swords that have almost been, made haphazardly into scimitars. They definitely do have some metal weapons.
I will take any of the metal weapons and any arrows I find.
Grotus would also
sure.
like to be seeing him doing that and look at the metal weapons collected.
What you gathering there, lad?
Scrap metal.
You gather what looks to be 2 daggers, both of poor quality. Seems they've been in use for a number of battles. As well as what look to be 3 scimitars. Some of the shields they were carrying do seem to have elements of metal in them, but whether it's worth stripping them down would definitely take a bit of time. If you guys are going to keep resting here, you can do it. And just get maybe a pound of metal, a pound of iron.
Probably not.
Okay. Then yeah, look into the arrows. With a 15, are you looking specifically for ones with like a metal tip or with a quilled tip?
Either or.
Either or. You get a sense that it's a bit more of a leaning towards metal in terms of what they're tipped with. Get a sense it's probably around maybe between the corpses and what they had used and fired, probably 16 metal arrows and maybe 7 quill arrows.
Okay.
All are essentially the same. It's aesthetically different.
All right. And Grodus, you'll see as I'm taking them, I am just putting them into a toolbox that is probably fitting all of this stuff.
You have a toolbox of holding.
Maybe.
Goros just kind of grunts and looks over.
Well, if you need any help with that metal later on there, let me know, Moonstone.
Yeah, of course. If you want help with a project of mine, I've got a working design that I got to test out.
Fair enough. You mind going back to the other skin? Surely miners are getting rested again. We'll head out again, I think, in the morning. At this point, if Gallo doesn't say they're here and moving into danger seems to be more of an issue, I'll take care of the bodies.
Yeah, admittedly, I did not find much. However, my only concern is if this tribe is privy on checking their numbers, doing head counts, which doesn't seem like so far. They may send out a couple more.
It's true, but I'd rather face him in the light than in the dark. I don't want to be moving on the road without being able to see with the...
As he looks over at the two people that cannot see him looking at him.
Yeah,
I have a lantern if either of you need. He looks
Well,
back at
no,
the
he's still carrying a torch, and he kind of just looks over towards you and waves. But then he kind of looks at the rest of you all, and he's just, well, I kind of get what you're talking about, all of you, really, but kind of a bit of a problem is that if we continue to stay here, we're only going to be opening ourselves up to more unwelcome visits.
Well, the night's almost over. I think we just should finish up our rest and hope that more don't come out. It's gonna, given that it seems like they can't be nearby. It's probably a good gander that it's gonna be a little while before they come back here to check it, and we'll be going by then.
Right.
question, DM. What time does it look like it is right now?
Hard to tell. Pitch at night. You get a sense by how long's gone. There's probably maybe 4 hours of night left. Your watches are about half done.
Okay. Oh yeah, we were on our second. Was
Yeah,
it?
we were on the second watch, so that's why.
So it would just be kind of passing through the last of the second before getting to the last one, and then after the last one, of course, light comes back to them.
Yeah. So
Okay. Gallo will then cross his arms and think for a moment, and looks between Moonstone and Xavier and says, "We only have one watch left, and if we're going to be on the move, we might as well continue rather than stop. So, I'd agree with Moonstone. We'll stay here a little longer, then we'll be heading out as soon as possible."
Very good. You all take care of it for a bit. I'm gonna take care of the bodies so they don't attract any sort of wild animals.
Yeah,
Oh,
it stinks.
That's a very good idea. And Moonstone will down a flask of his whatchamacallit? Experimental elixir.
Okay. I don't know what your experimental elixir was today.
I don't think I rolled for it today.
No, you
Well,
did.
No, you
you
gave
did
it to
last
me
session.
last time. You
Yeah.
gave it to me again. It was +1 to my AC, wasn't it?
Yes.
I
That
don't
was-
remember.
That
Okay.
was your last one.
Alright, never mind, my bad.
As somebody who just watched the videos, yes, that is.
Okay, thank you, Dylan. I was...
Fair enough, I suppose.
My bad.
Grodus will drag the 5 goblin bodies off to the distance.
Sure, you can take them a good ways away. You imagine whatever wildlife wants them will take them over there. don't have much to worry about.
Yeah, he tosses them off to the side for the time being and wanders back to the crowd. Finally pulls out the arrows in his arms as he finally,
Oh, yeah, these.
Took you long enough.
You forget about those?
A little bit of a... Well, in fight I get a little hazy sometimes.
That... He just kind of like looks at you and just kind of claps you on the shoulder with just wordlessly, like his eyes a little bit wide.
Alright. I'm heading off to bed. Good work out there.
Whose watch was last?
I'm on the last watch.
Hmm. And he also will extend his hand out and point towards the arrows that he just pulled out of his body.
Kind of looks at you. Did you want them?
If you're willing to part with them.
It's not like I can use a bow.
and he'll toss you the arrows.
Sure.
You catch them, wipe them down, and he'll look over to Julius curiously, just since he hasn't said much, or at least since he's been gone. And how is he doing?
Standing by the other people that we're keeping an eye on. Though he seems to be kind of standing a bit off to the side with his hands kind of clasped together and his eyes closed.
I assume it looks familiar to the last time he looked like he was possibly praying.
I don't know. I don't believe any of you guys ever caught him praying.
Okay. Oh, he was just looking at the sky before, but he wasn't like praying to anybody. Okay. Well, I guess, does that call for an insight to see if he is praying? It's really just out of curiosity.
I wouldn't call it an insight. Insight is trying to discern someone's meaning to an action. You're just kind of assuming what you want based on what you see.
Alright. In that case, just disturb him for a moment while he's heading over back to his tent. And he asks, you good?
Oh, was he speaking to Julius?
Yes.
Julius lowers the prayer that he had going and looks at you. Again, he's kind of reverted back to his more cheerier disposition, but there's a bit of a distance to his gaze when he looks at you in particular, and just kind of gives a small nod of his head.
He notices the distance, he doesn't mind it much, and gives a nod of approval, because he did destroy 2 enemies in one go, so he won't say anything aside from so.
Julius doesn't know that.
He did tell him he hit 2 during battle. He did.
Oh, he was crying. He didn't hear.
Oh.
I think the problem is you normally would know you hit them because they'd be glowing, but since you insta-killed them, they weren't glowing after you hit them.
I'm just, would he say something? Would he not say something? No. For now, he gives him a nod. And yeah, kind of gives everyone a general wave of good night. And, yeah. I don't know about the rest.
I was about to say, does Moonstone see this praying?
I wasn't hiding it.
Alright. I'll just look at Julius and say, what are you doing, praying?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I am.
Yeah, curiosity, what are you praying to and for?
A god?
Very specific.
Gratis rolls his
A
eyes.
powerful god.
Again, not very specific.
Moonstone.
He's asking for a name.
A very, very powerful god.
Alright, fuck it, I tried. Good night.
Moonstone, he doesn't want to go to sleep, all of you. We gotta get going early.
Already in his tent. Already passed out.
Is he sticking
Sure
out of
thing.
it again or no?
Oh, hell yeah, he is.
Julius walks over to drag him back in.
His arm, yeah, no, his arm's like poking out, and like when you try to pick it up, it like swats at you in defense very weakly.
So while dragging him in, you guys just hear from inside the tent, "Owie!"
Meanwhile, while that's going on, Grotus just goes, I'm starting to remember why I travel alone. As he
It's
starts-
adorable. Don't do
As he
that.
You and
sighs.
I the same.
Moonstone just looks at it and was like, you sure you don't want to just like spill off?
Sorry, don't want to what?
Sure you guys just don't want to split off, just looking at Grotus and Gallows.
At the moment we got the job to fair. I mean, they weren't useless. Julius did do a good job out there.
I heard
We'll
my
finish
name.
ways.
Pops his head out.
We're talking in Dwarvish!
No, we're not.
Well, also, names don't change, really.
Yeah,
Yeah, and Gala wouldn't reply in Dwarvish either way, so.
yeah, Grotus wasn't speaking in Dwarvish.
Fine. Don't
Heard
worry
my
about it.
name.
Like, you hear it like, Ik noek den waarde Julius. Those names don't translate.
Yeah, I mean, you know your name no matter what language you're speaking.
You gotta call them a nickname,
Yeah,
like that
anyways.
cowardly fuck. Whatever that translates to in Dwarvish.
Are you all talking about me?
Turns out that translates to Julius as well.
It's greatest coincidence. Cowardly fuck is just Julius. That's how the dwarven
Yeah.
word for it.
Amazing.
Thus the dwarven language has changed in an instant the day Julius met a dwarf.
Grotus turns over to Julius and goes,
I were just having a conversation
About me?
about everyone, but yeah, you too.
What about?
I was saying you did a good job out there, despite your
he looks you up and down.
moment of panic, let's say.
Stand taller next time you hit your enemy. You hit 2 of them. Be proud of it.
No, that was... I was acting to make you all feel better, of course.
Mm.
Alright, that's it. I'm going to bed.
Everybody hit the shed. I gotta take the last watch, okay?
I believe Serlin was joining you?
Yes, the elderly dwarven woman was supposed
Yes,
to
the
go.
other, the one, essentially like what you gather to be the eldest of the 4 dwarves.
Yeah.
Yeah. She you watch the rest of the dwarves kind of take their time, as you find themselves asleep. Eventually kind of Serlin sits by what would be a campfire, but you guys never lit one, because you didn't want to attract goblins. She just kind of sits there, you see her, just kind of fiddling with the edges of a hand axe she's holding.
Grotus kind of looks at the hand axe.
You make that one yourself, or did you buy it?
Was a gift a long time ago, actually.
Really?
Grotus kind of takes out his hammer and kind of just slightly kind of moves it.
Yeah, same with this, honestly.
It's a nice one from what I can tell. Mining's my only profession. He'd hell of a blacksmith. Does the duty, right?
Hey, my pa made it for me.
She kind of twists the axe once in her hand. It has this nice kind of, the blade's like just a very simple blade, like steel blade. There is this kind of like nice etching of the wood that kind of seems to kind of creep up it in almost like a vine-like pattern. She kind of takes it and she points back to the dwarves and she's like, "The gnome bought it for me."
He's got at least an eye for quality, I take it.
Aye, he's good for that sort of thing. You know, half-decent miner, too. Got to admit, nice to have him around for, business.
Here's actually
Knows how to
class.
find work.
What's not that it's completely unnormal, but it's a little odd to see one gnome amongst all the dwarves for miners.
And all of us worked together for a good amount of time. The 4 of us were, experienced miners. A lot of the work we do now is Oh, a lot of folk have minds that they're, well, if there is regulations they ain't allowed back into, or they're just disobeying them with clear risks. We're kind of hired to, often make sure they'll stay standing for at least a few more years. Him over there, well, you know, as good as I'd say some of the human folk are as a miner, when it comes to making sure business is going fine, making sure payments are all in order, he's got a keen eye for that sort of thing. Keen eye for writings as well if you're signing contracts.
I see. Interesting.
Gross kind of just looks back.
So, you're all looking for this, what made you all hire on with our employer, then?
Aye. He, hired us out of, well, exactly what I told you. Supposedly, in Teleburg, he's acquired a mine that's fallen to pieces. He's hiring us to ensure that it ain't gonna fall. Says we can pull whatever we, mine out of it for our own profit. And seeing as it's a salt mine, the whole fucking walls are gonna be salt, so not a profit there.
Yeah, sounds like a good deal.
Overall, I've never been to Teleburg, never been this far south before either. He seemed to ask for us specifically, not sure who told him about us. I don't know. I've heard things about it, but some of them good, some of them bad. I suppose I'll have to see when we get there, kind of thing.
Aye. You usually do, I suppose.
And I guess with that, should we also make our perception checks while we're doing
Yes.
this?
I was waiting. You guys can talk as you like.
No, I'll keep talking. I just want to make sure we don't get ambushed while we're talking, so we'll roll them
She's
now.
only got a +1. Damn it. I was close. 14.
Well done, Chris. Well done.
Both of you, look, I got a new keyboard. I'm still getting used to it.
Oh, that's fair.
The two of you kind of keep your eyes out, watching the attack. Very much, has kept you on your toes now, and so you're a bit more watchful than some of the other watches.
Yeah, Grodus just kind of looks over to.
You mind asking me, where are you from exactly, you dwarves?
All of us, we grew up far north in Red Rock.
Oh,
Do I know where that is?
Yeah. I believe I mentioned it. You know of in Avaloc, in northern Avaloc, there are two prime dwarvish cities. I need to actually pull up my notes for this.
1 second. It's
What did I say? I could have sworn. Unless I'm getting the name. Yeah. Let me check. Dwarves are trained to the roots of very dwarvish. Yeah, dwarf home. I could have sworn I told you.
What did you say the name? Maybe I misheard the name.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. So you know that one of the two cities is Kerazman.
Yeah, that's the one I'm familiar with. Yeah.
Yeah, and Red Rock is kind of its where Kerazman is kind of on that. I did screw up on the message I sent you. Kerazman is the one southwest of Yotelbeck.
Okay.
Red Rock is kind of its counterpart, which is on the southeast. You can roll a history check to see what you know of Red Rock.
Fair enough. Will you do so? History is a 7. Oof.
7? You would know from your father, who was a Kerazman dwarf. He did not speak fondly of Red Rock. He said it was a place of nothing but liars and scoundrels, While they call themselves dwarves, they might as well be Durga.
Oof, we really didn't like them. Okay.
There's very much this cultural separation that comes from them being like not together. It's very much while Karazman is very, focuses to the ideology. Red Rock is very much this more mercantile based, and because of it, a lot of it kind of focuses on that kind of capitalistic.
Okay, so fair enough. He goes,
Yeah, I know about the place. My dad didn't have the best to say about it, to be honest.
Well, that's fair. It's a shithole.
Fair enough. Mind you, I've yet to see a city that isn't.
Yeah, you see some of them up north. They're all right. The Red Rock, though, it's gods. Everyone's fighting for whatever coins they can scavenge. That's what I heard about this town, actually. Supposedly, some men that live there now, they were rather profitable ore barons back in Red Rock, but had a run of bad luck and got removed, so to say.
Interesting.
Grotus
Aye.
just tucks that away as a note.
Don't know if they did nothing, if they did anything wrong. Folks have been tossed out of Red Rock for less, but they crossed the wrong person. That's all you can really be.
Well, ain't none of my business. We're literally just here to get you over to where we're going, to get you paid, and then get paid.
Aye, it's most important.
Indeed.
Grotus kind of goes back and leans back, looks up, and I'd say I guess we just finish the rest of the watch.
Of course. With that, eventually, your watch comes to an end. You all can wake as you wish. Another day of travel sits ahead. You can proceed at your leisure.
Alrighty then. Alright, good morning. How's everyone doing?
Gallo has already been in the process of packing up his tent. Just one of the first to wake up. He didn't take off his armor that night. He just slept in it. So he was pretty much ready to go.
By the way, can we take off the turn order?
Hello?
Sorry. What?
Can you take off the turn order? It's still on there.
Oh, sure.
It's
Thank you.
making Michael nervous.
We're gonna be attacked at any moment! Sorry, as you were saying.
They said you were in your armor, Callow?
Yep, still was in it. Slept in it.
Oh, you slept in your armor?
Yeah.
For the sake of it, roll a constitution check. Or a constitution save. Not a big one, but...
Heck,
12? Or 11? You're fine.
11.
You know, sleeping in armor definitely isn't the most comfortable, especially the heavier armor it is. With light armor, you know, you've worn it long enough. Some nights you can just have a bad sleep with it.
Okay.
You get a sense, you sleep in your armor, probably be a constitution save of 7 DC.
Okay.
Fail it, while you still gain the benefits of a long rest, you also might gain an exhaustion point.
Sweet.
As bad sleeps can happen from man or woman wearing thick leather platings on their shoulders.
Is not comfy.
Nope. Gets
Yeah,
even worse. It's the heavy.
The heavier it is, yeah. So as Grotus walks over, he'll grab his, he'll start grabbing the horses and stuff and take the wagon back out in the front to get everything set up so we can get moving.
How long do you think we're gonna be? Because I might try to get a little salve made from those arrows.
I doubt we're gonna be more than about 15-20 minutes if I can help it.
If I remember correctly, they should have started getting better within an hour, right? We've had...
Oh, yeah. Any of the swelling was gone, like, right as you started sleeping.
I would just like to have it in case someone gets really lit up and it causes an allergic reaction.
I don't think we got the time for it, Moonstone. I'd rather get moving quicker.
Oh, that's what I was asking.
We can do it on the wagon if nothing's going to spill, but otherwise, we can
Can I
say
do it
that
on
for
the wagon?
later.
You can attempt it.
I would say that Xavier is usually one of the first to wake up, but this time around he actually wakes up a little bit later than the rest. Just kind of crawls out of his tent, stretches, and kind of wordlessly begins to pack away everything and whatnot. Circles kind of around his eyes a little bit.
You there, lad? Oh, wrong character. You okay there, mate?
Yeah. Just rough night.
Does he have dark circles? Or
Yeah.
Not enough sleep there?
Uh, not too much. It's he kind of scratches around at his arm, around his elbow. It's kind of my first time trying to sleep after an ambush.
Grotus kind of overhears that as he's getting the horses together and just shouts back, "You get used to it."
Yeah, I'm sure. Just yeah, it's
is it
Just a little-
only nervousness that caused it?
yeah, I'd say so.
And that's why you're with the rest of us. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'll try not to.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just make sure you get some good sleep the next night.
Right, I'm sure I'll be fine.
Did I at least have enough time to make coffee for everyone?
Sure. I'll say you have some.
Yeah.
Is everyone else awake? Gala will go over and just kind of give a little knock of the foot of whoever is still in their tents, dwarves and the like.
Most of the dwarves seem early enough risers. The only one I haven't heard from is Julius. Did you wake up? Is Julius
Nikki, you
here?
there? Oh, no, Nikki's BRB. Nikki said they'd be
They
BRB.
know.
Oh, that's right, they are.
Oh, they're still
With
gone.
that being said, he just kind of looks down at the cup that was handed to him and is just, "What's this? A dark brown?"
It's coffee. You've never had coffee.
No, should
Do you
I?
like anything?
Moonstone will then just pour in just some, like a decent amount of sugar. Stir it up. Alright.
Sure. It sure smells interesting. Kind of like a grounded, and he just kind of sips and immediately makes a face.
Look, Grotus looks over and says, "What are you all doing over here?"
Apparently he's never had coffee. You drink that, you're gonna wake up.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
feel
say
nice and fucking alert now.
Grotus is gonna sniff the coffee. Just for shits and giggles, Chris, would Grotus know if it's any good coffee or is it just swill?
For the sake of it, I'll say for the sake of it, it's decent coffee. From where you kind of grew up, Grotus, being kind of like mostly landlocked, you've had a couple different kinds. But you get a sense probably someone that lived near a port town would have a lot more options there.
Fair enough.
Yeah, seems fine.
Seems good
for
enough.
me.
He looks over at you. So, Xavier, how bad is your face drinking the coffee?
It's like for a split second he gained 30 years of age before his face finally resorts back to its normal, and he just kind of gives this cup like an almost betrayed look.
Grotus just kind of looks
at
over.
that.
Grotus kind of looks at you.
Maybe I'll make you a cappuccino sometime.
And he wanders back as he gets the horses back together.
He kind of like looks up at him and is just, I'm gonna say hi to the horses as well. Well, and he kind of like not so discreetly pours out the rest before handing it back to Moonstone. It's just, well, thanks. That sure as hell made me a bit more alert.
I suppose it did what it was supposed to, I guess.
Yeah, he just kind of looks a little psyched out, like if you woke up and you were just filled with adrenaline first thing, you're like awake but like still a little bit off your rock.
Moonstone will just sip on his coffee.
Unaffected. Boy can take alcohol to the eye, but not coffee.
So if Moonstone offers Gallo any coffee, he's just gonna deny it. He'll say his thanks, but just unless you have tea, I'd rather not.
I'm sure I got a tea packet in here somewhere. And you just see Moonstone rummaging through his toolbox again. No.
Don't worry about it.
Black tea?
All right.
Yeah, tosses you a packet.
Looks at packet. Looks at self that has no mug nor water to heat up in a mug.
You probably got a water skin. You just don't have a way to
Okay.
heat it.
No way to heat it, but I'll just okay. He'll just shrug and he'll stick the tea packet into the water, into the water skin.
Meanwhile, Grotus is over there with his pots, pans, mugs, cups, chili pot.
Xavier's giving lavish attention to the horses as per usual.
Grotus is
Sure.
hitching them up as we're ready to get the dwarves together, loading up in our
Dwarves are
Arrow.
ready. They're not children. You don't gotta herd them together.
All
Get
right,
into shape,
babies, time to get up.
What-
Get up.
Let me finish. They say loading them up in the arrow-resistant wagon we built.
They don't need to be lifted up. They're not children.
The Mount might. He's only 3 feet tall.
But he's got the other dwarves to help him. They're all a unit. They work together.
They're just a bunch of corgis helping each other out, guys. They can take care of it. I will say before Gallo heads to his post, to one of the front wagon, he's been thinking for a second, and then he looks back at Xavier and says, "Hey."
He's not here. Oh, wait.
Like before when he was doing that, it's just like, yes, you're such a good girl, Kelly. Yes, you're such a good girl. Huh? Yeah.
Rolls
what?
eyes at him. You're worried about ambushes. You're asleep?
Well, he kind of like noticeably drops, kind of like passively patting, just like alongside the horse's face, but like kind of looks back, and it's just, yeah, well, not entirely. I mean, I'm sure I'll just get used to it. So,
Insight.
alrighty.
19. What is he seeing?
Well, give me a fucking second, Zako.
Also, the music stopped.
Oh,
Alright, well, you could say that he may not necessarily be lying, but he doesn't seem to believe his own words.
So about the anxiousness, but isn't completely convinced that it's just his own anxiousness.
He's very much self-doubting.
Okay. He sighs and pipes up. Well, if it's worry about ambush specifically, if you aren't already, learn to be a light sleeper, but do it consciously with the idea of looking for signs and not attack.
Yeah, I already am a light sleeper. It's just, I think, last night's combat kind of took me out a little.
Mm.
I'm fine. I just,
Well, regards to anything else, if you have any other things that are affecting your sleep, well, that's your business. But telling you now, because I can't have anyone in this team exhausted. So if you have a problem, you say so. Understood?
Yeah, yes, sir. um, I'll be fine, I'm sure. Just rolling with the punches. And kind of gives him a lighthearted little smack on the shoulder.
He stays still for the smack of the shoulder, raises a brow, doesn't really move to do anything about it, and shakes his head and moves away from him to head to the cart.
Sure.
He just quirks an eyebrow before going over to the cart as well.
Grotus looks at...
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, Grotus says,
Same people last time. I'll take the left side. Julius will take the right. Drivers as they were before with,
and he points at Gallows and Moonstone.
you two up front.
Alright. Hey, Julius.
Nikki's not back.
Fuck! Nikki fell in the toilet and died.
Yeah, apparently.
We'll see them on the other side of the world. That's where all, the toilet just...
For
Oh
the
my
sake
God.
For the sake of it not slowing things down, we'll just say Julius is asleep. Grotus picks his ass up, slaps him into the back of the cart, and we keep moving.
Sure. With that, you all start your towards the last leg of the journey that finally reaches Teleburg. Knowing what you've been told, you should arrive there sometime before the sun sets today.
As we begin our journey, can I make that check to try to make a solvent for...
Sure. It's a bit difficult in a moving cart. And it's...
And it's what?
I'm trying... Well, because it's not like an ant... You're not making an anti-venom. It's like... It's an antihistamine. But that's not something you make with the ingredients causing the issue.
Yeah,
Like, kind of like a paste.
yeah, but I see what Chris is getting at. I mean, technically, you having the thing isn't going to help you at all with this scenario.
No, I'm just saying, based on the supplies I might already have. I'm trying to make a sort of like...
That'd be
cream or
more of a
something.
herbalism than an
Yeah.
alchemy set, buddy.
Okay, yeah, you're fair. Fair on that. In that case, I will continue to work on my next design.
Sure thing.
Grotus just calls up, "Don't
Don't forget to keep an eye out up there.
On it. Is it
Right.
perception?
Whoever wishes to.
That's
I
That's
will also do that.
I like it, Zaku, that you keep wasting your good rolls on things that don't matter."
The best things to have good rolls for.
Cries into hands.
kind of keeping your eye out. Nothing you notice. Nothing you notice approaching. The only time where something you do see approaching, you do see what looks to be a group of around, you'd guess 6, riding in a 2-horse-drawn carriage. Seemingly, they all seem to be armed and kind of Moonstone, you'd be able to see as you kind of get a bit closer, you start to see the same insignia that you saw at the men at the Lareau Crossing.
Oh, which one's the ones with the...
Like the twisting red horn on the side of the hood.
The mercenary groups, or...
Yes.
Okay.
Are they going in the same direction as us,
No,
or are they
They
coming
are
towards
going.
us?
Yeah, they're going towards you. So you get a sense they're coming from Teleburg. There's about 6 or 7 of them. See
Alright.
a couple different races. Yeah, men and women. None of them. See, like all of them seem to be wearing kind of this similar attire, clearly meant to represent that they're together.
Mhm.
As we're approaching, Grotus kind of looks over at them. I'm assuming they're getting close enough that we can talk to them at the moment?
Yeah, you kind of see them, and the woman who's got in the cart was kind of like half-elven woman, bow kind of tied over the shoulder. Just kind of gives you a nod as you're all passing by.
Grotus just looks over at him because he goes,
Careful up there, goblins up ahead.
Here, there's goblins everywhere. Nothing new.
Fair enough, but we were ambushed on the road, just giving you a heads up for it.
We'll watch out for an ambush. She kind of gives you a nod. It's very much... You get these tones of... It's shit they've seen before, and you get a sense that this has unfortunately been just how it's been.
Yeah.
And Gallo will pipe up. His posture is still lax, but he straightens his back just a bit, and he doesn't smile, but will keep a nicer, amicable expression. Just, where are you coming from?
She kind of looks down the road, like looks back to you. It's like, Teleburg, only fucking place this road goes.
How is it up there? Anything to keep note?
It's still standing, if that's what you're asking.
Alright. No. Just, as we've been ambushed down here, want to make sure the road is clear. We are headed that way as well.
I know, folk are still living there. Goblins are only getting confident on the roads, taking down a fucking town's a different story.
Alright, well, safe travels to the rest of you.
Aye, you as well.
Yeah, we'll end conversation there. Keeps an eye out. Nobody of interest on this wagon.
Sorry, what?
Is there anybody of interest on this wagon?
Roll a general perception. Kind of looks at them, see halfling man, few humans, that half elven woman. Each of them is kind of rocking their own equipment. Aside from what seems to be the garbs they're wearing, clearly kind of like a kind of looks like black linens over their choice of armor. One of them is wearing leather. Most of them are wearing like either scale mail or like a chain shirt. Yeah, some of them are armed with bows, some of them are armed with swords. It's very clear, like, folk of different walks of life, all in the same kind of group.
Okay, so similar to us, they don't seem to be coming from anywhere specific. The only thing you know is this group.
You get a sense probably almost all of them are from the human provinces, just because they're all, like I said, it's halflings, humans, half-elves. Well, half-elf. You get a sense they're all from like the kind of the human areas of either like the Farrowlands or the Ebon Cradle or the Yellow Steppes. As to specifics, nothing you can tell from passing glance.
Okay, that's really all he wanted was generally where this group is coming from, since he doesn't know anything about them.
Of course.
Actually, before he lets them go, he'll wave over and ask one more question. Just out of curiosity, I don't think I'm familiar with your group. Mind enlightening me?
She kind of, like, they stop the cart as you kind of pull, like, you know, the horses kind of reel back, and she kind of looks to you and it's like,
is this
oh
2018 or 2019?
I'm in a call.
Oh, I'm sorry.
kind of looks to you and she's like, what are mercenaries? Hired to act as new fucking guards for the town. What says there?
Hi. Can you repeat that, please?
Yeah. She kind of gives you kind of like a curious look, like she's surprised by the curiosity. We're mercenaries hired to be the acting guard for Teleburg right now.
No, I understand that. I've been traveling around for a few years, and I'm slowly learning more of the groups that are around here. If I end up ever being hired by such groups as well, I'd like to at least know the names.
Oh, she kind of points. You see marked on like the leathers of her shoulder that same kind of twisting red horn. It's like, red horn.
Fitting.
It's easy. Not like one of those dumbass groups rocking some stupid last name or fucking title lines are fucking, it's simple. Gotta keep it simple. No point otherwise.
Mighty Nine and the such. Got it.
What?
Nothing. Anyways, thank you for your time.
Right, just like this, she doesn't understand. Fuck your meta commentary.
Chris will have none of it.
I guess we continue on the road.
Sure. With that, as you continue down the road, nothing clear of hostility or panic. Still passing by either edge of the forest surrounding you as it surrounds the entirety of the land around Teleburg. No sign of incidences, no sign of creatures attacking, but clear just from the talk that everywhere on this road, near the Pharaoh Crossing, near Teleburg, those goblins are attempting to siege the roads, kill who they can. As you get closer to the town, finally you start to notice the more clear signs that you get closer. And slowly but surely, the path ahead, which once was a narrow, maybe 30 feet wide, kind of forest on either side, finally starts to widen up. Immediately, you can kind of see, breaking through the tree line ahead of you, what seems to be the small town of Teleburg. Only a few buildings stand, maybe about 4 dozen, 5 dozen in total. Different shapes and sizes, very much pertaining to the services offered at there. A number of jobs, homes, houses. Immediately, there is one building, clear as day, that strikes a chord as being different and almost out of place for those of you that haven't seen it. Kind of looking, many of the homes, the largest you see are those that you assume to be businesses as well as the living quarters of other people. But looking towards the center of the town, where the town itself has like an almost kind of small square where the 3 different roads kind of intersect, you see what is this near warehouse-sized building. 3 stories tall, massively wide, and seemingly the center point of the town square is just a massive building. A good number of crowd at the front where you see almost what is a balcony. Looking to the tops of it, you see windows kind of placed all around it, clearly allowing a lot of natural light to come in. And as you kind of get closer and closer, you do notice a good amount of people standing near the front of it. Many of them socializing, drinking, talking with each other. It takes a moment to realize, but this massive building just might be one of the largest taverns or inns you've ever seen.
Holy shit.
Looking to it, you get a sense its dimensions are probably around 150 by 100 feet on a 3-story building.
Holy shit.
Hmm.
We're going higher after we get this done.
Grotus is just kind of rubbing his arms. He's not looking comfortable with this situation.
Kind of looking around, aside from the single building, much of the town seems very much to be simple. Kind of looking through, you see the common identifiers of a place that might do woodworking, a place that might do carts, a place that sells livestock, an auction yard, blacksmithy, things like that. You see one where it seems to be like a barber shop of some kind. The only other building that kind of really gives an immediate standout is the town is kind of built on simple 3 roads, a T intersection where the large inn kind of sits at its peak. Looking down the kind of abstract road of the T intersection, the one that you're not currently on but attaches to it, you do kind of notice this clear kind of change and shift as the housing kind of parts away from it where the tree line would resume and instead goes further into the tree line with what almost seems like a gardener's well done area. Clearly a number of trees that kind of line up before what seems to be a decent sized manor at the end of it. The road itself seems well traveled, and you can kind of see off that path there seems to be a secondary path that seems to lead somewhere deeper into the forest. The path straight ahead of you eventually ends as kind of the tree line kind of resumes. I gotta stop saying kind of. Kind of looking around the town, you see a good number of people. The thing that catches your eyes the most is a lot of dwarves. You've heard that Teleburg is a mining town, and of course a profession mastered by the dwarves long ago. Still surprised to see their numbers. You get a sense where most towns have maybe a 15 to 20% dwarvish amount. This one's probably around 35. Other than that, humans, half-elves, a lot of the same that you've seen before. There's a couple half-orcs you see every once in a while, toting near the front of the inn. Looking around, a big thing you notice, there seem to be, aside from what seem to be the Redhorns, who are kind of posted up at some of the corners, also kind of like walking through the town, you don't see anyone in any kind of armed uniform, any type of guard or official.
Well, as we enter town, Grotus kind of looks at her and goes,
I suppose it's about... Well, let's get them... What, is the inn we're supposed to be taking the miners to, or what was it again?
You alright, Grotus?
Just, not really comfortable in towns is all.
Don't worry about it.
And kind of gives him a slight pat on the shoulder. You're, it's just for temporary, you know.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Well, Moonstone, I was just saying, like, I ain't the brightest, but I know that why Grotus has been staying out of towns. We should probably make sure to keep an eye in case anybody gives him any odd looks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just saying. I doubt anything's really gonna happen. As we don't cause any trouble, we should be good.
Alright.
There's solace in the fact that most of these people who are living here are simply here to work and not exactly mingle with those coming in. And if anyone does give a shit, they will also get Hellman's shit. Either way, we'll keep an eye out.
Right.
It's okay, well, let's just get the job going. I'll be fine.
He just nods and kind of kicks back his hat just a little bit, pushing back his hair.
Hey, maybe we'll phone a smithy and we can work on something.
Yeah, hey, maybe.
As the cart does pull to a stop and you all are having this conversation, you do notice the dwarves as well as the gnome are kind of getting their stuff together. Kind of one by one, you see the dwarves hop out, and Tessel looks back to you all. It's like, all right, this is where we were told to meet Hellman. We'll at least get our bedding arrangements set. If you're able to go find where he may be staying, would be nice to know what exactly we're here for. He gave us details, but sparse details. I believe he also mentioned to us that you would be paid in there.
I'm assuming he's in there. Is he the inn that they're all staying at?
You could assume. You could assume whatever.
I don't know. I was asking if he pointed to that direction or not.
Oh yeah, sorry. He was pointing to the inn.
Yeah, just like, I can't see.
No, you're right. That's my bad. And gestures don't work. I forgot. Yeah, you very much. You remember. Hellman said that he'd make sure you didn't even have to see him for your pay if you didn't want it. You just needed to make sure you stopped at the Shaft's Respite.
Okay.
All right, let's go see if we can find him.
Shaft's Respite?
Yes, the Shaft's Respite.
Alright.
Alright, Moonstone will start
Respite,
heading off in that
whichever you wanna
direction.
pronounce. Sure. Like I said, it's right in the middle of town. There's a number of spots where you can hitch a horse to it. Kind of as you come by, you notice one of the men kind of get off the balcony. Younger, half-elven man. He kind of comes up and it's like, yes, Shaft's Respite. In fact, there's a basketball hoop up front. Half-elven man's like, you looking to be staying with us, sirs? Want me to be putting your card out back?
Oh, yeah, sounds like a good idea. How much will that be for the cart and a room?
Well, rooms they'll handle in there. I can write you a little receipt for the cart. We'll put it away. Depending on how many days you leave it there, we charge you at the end. That sound fair?
Yeah, how much are you charging?
Currently, we usually go about 2 copper a day just for leaving stuff in our stables. Payment may continue to be higher if you want us to put the horses in there too. It's up to you.
Grotus taps at Moon, so
This isn't our gear, remember?
Yeah, fair point.
Bill them to Hellman. We've been hired to bring this cargo over.
Who?
Hellman?
Oh,
Never heard of the man.
grumpy. Halfling, grumpy.
There's certainly a number of halflings that are grumpy in town,
Cronus
but
looks over. Let's see about getting our pay first, then we'll worry about this, okay?
so you want me to
Homeland.
stash it, write your receipt, give it to the Hellman man if he comes by?
Yeah, might as well.
Okay. Horses too, or just the cart?
How much is for the horse? It's his horses. He can get paid for it.
Right, fair understanding. So he kind of he writes you up a receipt. You see that he takes like a brief estimate of whatever supplies you've got in there. He takes a tarp, kind of throws it over as a clear, like, we're not going to mess with it. And he brings your horse. You kind of see at the end of the very long building, well, kind of more off to its side, there seems to be another kind of large-ish stables. Definitely not as large as the inn, though. Nowhere close.
Shall we?
Sounds good. Julius, you up yet?
Just 10 more minutes.
Under the tarp.
That's what I'm about to say. We're about to store the wagon with Julius in there.
There's a tarp over him like a nice blanket.
You've been asleep for like 20 fucking hours. Also, Xavier, you coming?
He kind of looked a little bit distracted, kind of bouncing a bit on his heels, the heels of his shoes, but he kind of like looks over and nods and, sorry, where are we?
We're getting our pay.
Right, okay, let's go. And he kind of, with a bit of a, what do you call it, a stiffness to his step, he just proceeds. Though, that being said, it doesn't look much different than his ordinary saunter.
Okay. No, that I guess we head into the inn to get our pay.
All right. Kind of passing by the clear kind of outside balcony, entering in, it's again massive. While the kind of open floor of the tavern is comparable to what you've seen in other kind of large taverns, you can immediately see at the back wall what is a large bar manned with two different bartenders, a number of tables around, probably on the scope of 24, and a good number of them are occupied. Clearly, this represents probably where most of the town goes, if anything. What you assume to be like a town of maybe 50 people, you start to count more and more and more. You probably get a sense there's a decent bit over 100. Kind of looking to either sides of the bar, you see two staircases that kind of lead upwards, as well as two halls that kind of go further in, to more rooms. See a number of folk drinking, conversing. The day is late at this point, and many of the work days have ended for many of folk. All have gathered here now, simply to drink away, and drink they do. The entire place smells of various cheap ales, both scattered on the ground. While the tavern is well maintained, it definitely shows many signs of wear and tear, and as you kind of enter in, you can look to the back and see bartenders, though they are kind of preoccupied or throwing out drinks as quick as they can.
I will head up to one of the bartenders and I will say, "Hey."
Kind of catch the attention of this rather gruff looking for a full elf. He's almost got this like bit of facial hair, like it started to come in, which is pretty rare on an elf. Clearly aged, probably you'd guess a few centuries old. Whatever kind of blonde hair he had is now turned into like shades of gray. Oh, hi there, friend. What can I be interested in you in today?
We're looking for someone. Halfling by the name of Hammond. We're supposed to meet him here.
Halfling by the name of Helmet. He kind of thinks for a moment. Oh, aye, I have heard of the man. He's the new acquisitioner to that, one of the mines out by the mountain.
Hey.
Well, mountain. Can't say I've seen him around here, though, kind of thinks for a moment. You happen to be, I did receive a letter and some notes. You happen to be the folk he's hiring?
Aye, we're the people escorting his miners.
Ah, okay, right. Boss did give me some notes on that. I'm guessing you're here for your payment. I'm only supposed to confirm the miners are here. Are they, kind of like looks in the building. He's like, are they in here? You did see them enter.
Yeah, they're in here. Let me go get them. No.
You kind of point them out. Some of them are clearly like they're setting up a table. It seems like, you can see Tessel is talking to what looks to be a waitress there, and you point him out, and it's like, all right, looks like a 5-head count. It's about all they pay me to count. He's like, give me a moment, sirs, I'll get your coin for you. He takes a moment. You see him kind of walk down one of the hallways before entering into a side room, operations room of some kind. He takes a moment before retreating from the room, and he goes, right, just to make sure I got it all right here, 5 miners delivered here by their safety. All of them look safe from over here. I'm not one to judge if they're not. If this job is to be completed, be handing out 15 gold pieces each to individuals asking for it. I'm guessing that's...
Alright, better to be 5 of us.
Alright, you kind of... You watch, he takes it, he's got, like, it's clearly like a pouch that's been given with a letter, and you watch him kind of put the 15 pieces, like, free to count it as you like, sirs. Hope you enjoy your pay, hope you're spending it here.
Maybe a few. And I'll turn to everyone and hand out the gold. Alright, good work. Anyone want to actually talk to Hammond before we go? I don't know where he is.
By the way, how much was that again, Chris?
15.
15.
15 each? Okay.
Yeah, you guys are getting paid.
Okay, 15 gold each. There we go.
I'd probably like to see what this was all about. He said he might have more business for us.
Alright, well, let's ask around and see if we can't figure out where he's supposed to be. He was supposed to be here sooner than we were.
Well, wasn't he traveling through some kind of dangerous places?
Yeah, kind of want to check in, make sure he didn't get lost in the woods somewhere.
Well,
Whoa.
I mean, he should be easy enough to spot with that giant lizard man next to him.
That's a good point. Why don't we ask for him instead?
Yeah, that's actually, yeah.
Sure. For the sake of this, whoever's looking for Hellman, roll an investigation check.
I will do that.
Okay.
I will. Okay. Yeah, you should probably.
I will also do that.
Sure. Just looking for a person, I don't mind too. 27.
Motherfucker.
A lot of strange folk here. A lot of not sure which ones you want to talk to, which ones you want to avoid. Moonstone, you're pretty open about it. Asking around. There's an immediate sense of kind of surprise. Some folk have heard of him. No one's seen him. It takes a time until you meet with one of the Red Horns. It's like, oh, you're working with that man.
Oh, he says he might have a bit more work for us.
Aye, well, not sure of that. I'm guessing by your questions you don't know where he is either, though.
He never showed up town, did he?
As far as I know that the guard captain's been asking we keep an eye out for him.
Ah, fuck.
You want me to get the guard captain for you?
If you don't mind.
Oh, they've been looking for him, so might as well. Apparently he had some dealings that the law had to be taken into account. Kind of leaves for a moment. Eventually, the same Red Horn returns, and it's like, they're looking to meet you in what's left of the guardhouse.
Alright, let me just grab my companions and we'll head out.
Of course.
Meanwhile, Gallo is looking up and down one of the Red Horns, just giving them the eyes, because clearly he has Mr. Hellman hasn't been around, so he's just waiting.
Moonstone just walks up to him and just snaps his fingers and says, Hey, focus! We got more work to do.
Yeah, I figured. Gives the guard one more look, winks, and moves away.
Sure.
I just give an apologetic look.
The
Right,
guard gives you just kind of an odd look, like he didn't really catch eye of what she was doing, or what he was doing.
Grotus,
Hey, what is it?
looks like we might have more work to do. Hammond hasn't shown up yet.
Oh, for the love of...
Xavier,
I'm sorry, what?
Hammond hasn't showed up yet. We're gonna go talk to the guard captain about it.
Alright, where to then?
Well, hold on. Are we inviting Julius? Remember this? I look over to, Gallows, whispering this.
We are bringing him because we are finishing the job we started. That includes bringing him along.
I mean, we already got our pay. The job is done.
Mm-mm-mm.
At this
We're
point, you
bringing
notice
him.
Grotus is already grabbing Julius.
Julius, let's get going.
I can walk on my own.
I didn't mean literally grabbing Julius.
Alright, let's head out.
All right. So, kind of the Red Horn gives you basic directions. You kind of follow that splitting off T intersection. About halfway down, you see what looks to be kind of a rather small building that you'd guess acts as their holding cells more than it is a guardhouse. As you kind of approach, you do notice there is a single person there that actually seems to be in like an armed uniform. A rather young human man who kind of was like, heard about you, right? And he kind of opens the door, and it's like, Captain's waiting in there.
Thank you.
Fair enough.
Kinda, yeah, enjoy. Yeah, okay. Kind of just holding the door open. As you kind of enter, you are greeted by immediately what seems to be a small kind of office. Looking behind it, you do see what seems to be a number of cells that must be meant for, whoever deserves a bit of jail time. You see like maybe 4 or 5 or 6 maybe of them behind. Immediately, kind of the office looks disorganized, to say the least. Looking behind it, you kind of see what you guess to be a mid-40s human woman. She kind of like her eyes turn up, a pair of spectacles, clearly dotting, and almost sticking out uncharacteristically, despite the clear kind of like chainmail she's wearing beneath it. She's like, "You're Hellman's Lord, right?"
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. She kind of
Man.
stands up, good bit of height to her. This kind of looks silver for a moment, but then you get a sense, it's just like a heavy kind of almost like a light gray, just from age. She's, I'm Guard Captain Scyther. What remains of the guard? Kind of holds out a hand.
I will shake it, assuming no one else will.
Sure.
Darla will also go and shake it. His posture upright again.
Of course. Kind of gives you just this heavy shake. It's like, sorry to hear. Red Horn boy told me you hadn't seen sight nor sound of him either. Correct?
Aye.
Great. Alright. Kind of like looks and is like, I don't know where to go from. Do you know where he was last?
Yeah, Gross.
Last time we met,
What was the name of the town we started in?
Vildervale was the city.
Oh, Biddlevale, yeah.
We were, hold on, I have the notes for this. At least I think I
I
did.
don't know
He
where
was-
he went. We just know that we split off from Vildervale. We are the ones who went through Laurel Crossing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Laurel
you guys went
Crossing.
through Laurel Crossing.
He took a
You
more
would-
direct route, right?
Yeah, he took a more direct route right through the Aliana Woods. I keep fucking up that
Me
pronouncing.
too.
You would know that the Aliana Woods is what's referred to as the literally everything that's surrounding Teleburg and its surrounding area. It kind of borders near Vildervale, and he just planned to go directly through it rather than moving kind of the way almost around that you guys took through the Laurel Crossing.
So he's probably through the Alana
Aliana.
woods. That woods. Anyway,
We've been traveling for, what was it, 4 days?
2 days.
2 days. Okay, 2 days.
No,
We
4 days.
traveled-
You guys,
4 days,
2 days
hell
to
yeah,
Laurel
yeah.
Crossing, 2 days to Teleburg.
Okay, yeah, we passed through the Laurel Crossing. For 2 days, he took the straight route, so he should have come here much quicker than we have. There have been goblin ambushes along the way, so that could have been a possibility, even though he was armed with extra help.
From what I've heard of the man, that seems unlikely, but I suppose it's not impossible.
he seemed pretty harried.
Man, perhaps. Unfortunately, his acquisition of one of our mines here has been called into legal question, and we need him to provide official documentation that he, in fact, procured it via legal means instead of the what is guessed to be illegal ones right now.
So what shit is he getting up to?
Look, it's all speculation. The fact is, that mine used to be a number of ones held by the competing family that lived, a good ways out of town. As the father passed and the heirs decided to move, they put all 3 of the mines up for auction. Well, 2 of the mines they owned up for auction. For whatever reason, this Hellman figure got first buy at one of Teleburg's most profitable mines. And unfortunately, some folk are seeing that as not so honest. Aye.
Alright.
It's
Well,
Guard Captain Scytha. Cytha.
Well.
Thank you.
let's, I don't know about the rest of you, but I'd rather not hear about him when dead. Wanna go take a look for him?
If you'll just wait a moment. The man who's calling in their legal questioning is, I called him as well. He's able to give you a bit better of a explanation and reason as to why this needs to be solved, unfortunately.
I'm assuming that means there's also a paycheck involved.
Pardon?
I'm assuming that also means there might be a paycheck involved.
For what?
If we go and find him and sort this out.
We're gathering
He might be willing to pay you. No, look, if he don't show, that's not a bother to us. The mine just instead gets handed over to the next person who would have bought it. We can't be having a whole mine going out of commission. That's near 30 jobs people aren't working.
That's fair. Who's the next person who's supposed to be getting this mine, if you don't mind me asking?
He's the only local mine owner around anymore. It's my notes are a shambles. Hold on, he's lived here for years, but I still need to look up his name every once in a while.
Flipping through a very large notebook.
Delphus Firestone.
Firestone?
I did give him a note. Delphus Far. Farstoni. Delphus. Yeah, DEL. This. He owns 6 out of the 7 now, and it was only that salt mine that Hellman acquired that is worrying folk. It was a profitable mine, don't need it going to waste. Teleburg's having money issues as it is. Don't need a bunch of folk out of a job.
Fair.
Eventually, you all wait maybe another 30 seconds before entering through the door. You see a rather well-dressed dwarven man. Heavy brown hair kind of falls. While he has very little of a beard, it kind of folds. These 2 mutton chops kind of fold into this heavy mustache above his lips. Dressed very elegantly in what looks to be a bit of velvet and leather. Kind of looks, and following him is a unique individual. Dylan, if you'd like to describe your character.
You're the owner of the mine?
No, the person following the owner of the mine.
The person following him.
Ah!
Is Dylan here? Did Dylan go for a break?
Dylan! Buddy?
One moment, I'll grab my shotgun.
Good pickle!
We'll give him a moment. Give him 10, 9. Oh, he's typing.
You have 2 seconds not to die.
See?
Oh,
It worked.
we unfortunately
heck.
cannot hear you if you can hear us.
Try re-entering
Okay.
the call.
We
My
cannot hear you.
machine broke. Yeah, I would just
Oh, wow!
Hi.
Why?
Hello?
Now
Hello.
I can hear you.
I
the
did.
basic Zanny be like.
You did it.
Glad to hear you.
Ah!
As you follow Relthus in, as you had planned to speak with him next, you can describe your character.
Yeah. The person that follows in behind is a young man with dark skin and unruly long black hair with very blue eyes, like very pale blue. His body shows the wear and tear of many lost fights. He's got one eye that's like that green color of an old bruise. His nose has been broken several times. A variety of scars cover his hands and face. His ear is even missing a chunk. Whenever he would talk, you could see that he's also missing one of his canines. His clothing looks like it was once of a much finer quality. It's a gray tunic that ends in hand wraps at the arms and feet, or his legs, and over which he wears a more ornate over tunic that's got a sort of red and gold ornate pattern to it. These also show the tear of many, or the wear of many lost fights. They're bloodstained, they're cut up, they're torn. But in contrast to all of this, on his waist, he does carry a very pristine-looking saber with an intricate-looking handle and a long black sheath.
What race and height is this person?
He's human, and he's about 5'10".
10, okay. Hey, 5'10" buddies.
And the guard comes like, there he is now. He kind of look to the dwarf. He takes a moment, kind of takes this large almost kind of like trench-esque coat off, hangs it behind him, and just puts two hands kind of to his chest and, greetings, fellows. I'm hearing you have information to my business rival. I'm hoping to get this matter solved with so folk can get back to their jobs.
Fair enough.
Information might be a bit much. We just know that he was on his way here. He was supposed to beat us here, honestly.
Anybody remember exactly what he was? There was something on the road that he had not warned us about, but told us about. I could have sworn. I don't remember it being too bad, but in the event that he, and by extension his bodyguard, got stuck up, well, whatever's lying down there can't be good.
So I take it that none of you are...
Sorry, Chris, you broke up.
So I take it then none of you are Hellmen. You all seem a bit tall for it anyways.
I'd say so, yeah.
The hired help of Hellman. We all met in Vildervale. 2 days from here.
It's 4 days from here, but I know the city. That's shite.
Go straight to
Gotta be honest. Means my problem still ain't solved. Why'd you call me down, God Captain? It's either kind of... You asked me to call you whenever we heard sign of Hellman. Well, this ain't a sign of Hellman. This is a sign we gotta wait for the full fucking 2 weeks now before we get this business fucking run and half our gold income starts coming back into town.
I mean, if we aren't doing anything regarding Hellman, ain't there anything that we might be able to do?
Well, we could I look over at the dwarf. I'm like, well, I mean, we could go take a look for him, see if we can't bring him back a little quicker, get the mine working up sooner.
Given compensation if it's really so important that you need him now.
Oh, of course.
Kinda. Immediately kinda shoots you a glare. Roll a persuasion check.
Swindling money out of
Which
what?
one?
This is Gallo alone.
Could I say I'm helping?
Oh.
No, this is Gallo alone.
Please roll well.
Don't test fate. 22.
Yeah.
He takes a moment and is like, compensation? I'm trying to get people's... Yeah. He kind of like gives you a point. Gallo's like, I know you're kind. But I'd understand it. Right? This whole matter, before we get it sorted out with Hellman, we have to give him the 2 weeks to come forth with. We sent the letter out about 4 or 5 days ago, meaning we've still got the better part of a week and a half before any of us are out to do any, and even then I'm going to be paying for the work in the mine.
How about this then? We can do a down payment. We'll look for him, and if we don't find him before the 2 weeks, then you don't have to pay us the rest.
No, no, son. That ain't how it works around here. Work is paid after it's done. You'd be lucky I'm thinking of paying you lot at all. But you're right. I'll tell you what. I'm in a generous mood, and folks' livelihoods are on the line. You can find Hellman for me. Dead or alive, I don't care much. Find him within, we'll say, 3-4 days? Give each of you 2 plat. How's that sound?
I think we got a deal.
Grota says with a grin.
I'm not opposed to that.
Sounds good to me. Thank you for your generosity, sir.
Don't taste me, boy.
I like
If that's all, he kind of turns and is like, you still wanted to see me, right, boy? He kind of turns to you, Kessex.
I believe this answered most of my questions. If this party is traveling out that way, I would like to join them if that's possible.
I thought you wanted to go monster. Oh, come on. You don't wanna go with them. Look at them.
Well,
Hellman hired them. They can't be good. No offense.
Grotus just walks up to the dwarf and goes,
Is that supposed to be an insult to me?
No, it's supposed to be an observation, boy.
I'm actually a hero.
He kind of turns to you. Sure. Whatever Hellman called. Look, Kessex, right?
Kessex,
You seem like a good. We do have our own problems in town, stuff that don't concern this slow-breaking fool. Be happy to pay a good coin if you're able to rid him. Don't gotta go hunting for a wild goose chase of a man evading the law.
I'm not personally above good coin, but what I lack right now is companions and helpfulness.
Eh.
Where I come from, it's stupid to do things alone. And what say you lot? If I join you, will you help me in this endeavor as well? From how he speaks, there's good coin in it as well.
What is this thing that you are doing?
We'd all be happy to help.
I was about to say I'd like to know what your skill set is first.
The road from Edgewater to Teleburg is full of tales of monsters that haunt these woods around here. I'm one to take them down, or at least I'm hopeful of it.
You're a monster hunter.
Yes, that's the most simplistic way to put it, yes.
Well, I don't see why not, but before traveling into any unfamiliar grounds, you're always going to want some more information. You know too much about that place already?
Well, as you can see, I've been having a lot of trouble getting outside this town to examine it. The goblins have been a bit testy around here, and it's, like I said, dangerous by yourself.
Right. So you're looking to learn more by traveling into uncharted territory.
That's about the gist of it, yes.
Right. Risky.
Well,
Well, kind of like what Moonstone was saying. What's your skill set?
I'm handy with the blade. I don't know much outside that. I guess you can take solace in that fact.
Sure. And he kind of points towards Grotus and kind of gives him a clap on the shoulder. This one is also talented with sharp, large objects, but he can also grow super fucking large. You got more than just a blade? No offense, but I'm just wondering.
I've got the the incredible ability to take quite the ass kicking as well.
Right.
The best way I could phrase it for you lot would be my blood can be quite potent.
Do you take damage and deal it back?
Lately, it seems like all I'm doing is taking damage. But yes.
His eyes kind of trail over the scars on his body, among other things.
Well, I for one don't see any problem with having someone else tag along, but if you get yourself killed, not on my conscience.
We won't let him get killed.
One more invasive question. How old are you?
21, but that's... Age is a number.
Well, I know. It's just... I don't know. The scars
Look,
are something,
if
but...
it makes you feel better, my proper title is Sir Odd. I'm a knight of the Fangkeepers.
Right.
You're
Have I heard of
right.
this organization before?
Have I heard?
Check. Sure, I'll let you both roll a history check.
Can I also check?
Sure.
I don't know if there's any real possibility where
Nope.
I would know.
Nope, even from Nikki.
Dang, it's high.
They're not from around here. But
1, 2, 1.
if it makes you feel better about my skill set, it's... I mean, the proper title is Sir Odd.
So,
Alright.
fair enough. I think Moonstone put it best. You can come with us. If you die, you die, but otherwise I don't suppose I can see harm in it.
If I die, just make sure to bury my body very deep. With all my items, and I'll pat my bag.
Sure, why not?
We'll
Thank
give
you.
you at least that.
You gonna what?
I said we'll give you at least that.
Oh.
Also, I'd like to do a perception check, was it, on Kessex? And I'm going to look for anything of interest that wasn't already described. So let's see.
Sure. Roll a perception check.
21.
21. With a 21, kind of looking to his garb, his gear, for the most part, seems to have really described everything. A couple things that look like they might be a bit more local. And then you kind of start to realize just how unlocal a lot of his gear looks. For places around the Farrowlands, places around anywhere you know, there's not kind of clothing and textiles like he's wearing. They're unique in both material and style.
Okay. He's looking him over, watching him from the sidelines, and yes. How well traveled are you?
I guess, Chris, that was one thing I did not ask about. How far is it from where I came from?
A good ways to say the least.
So I've honestly lost count of the days, but I'm honestly right now in the market for coin. As you can see, my boots are well worn, and he will show his boots, which are falling apart.
Ooh.
Well, you can certainly keep your own if you've been wandering around for a while. That's good to know. But yes, you should probably get that fixed. You can travel with us. Keep your head up.
That sounds perfect. And then when I return, and I'll turn back to Delphus, I can take care of your monster. How about that?
He kinda... Oh, hold on. Yeah, he kinda looks to you. You know what? I can respect that. Wouldn't have gotten half as far as I did if not for my brother. I can respect the need an ally. Fair. If you're alive, he's alive. If this stuff gets sorted out, I imagine shit's gonna... So I'll be willing to hire more.
It's perfect. I believe that makes us a plan, correct?
Suppose if you call that a plan.
I
Alright,
feel like
looks
the
and-
best plans are half-assed.
Anything else, guard captain? I cannot return to my abode. You were fine, Mr. Farstone. I apologize for the trouble. Doing your best. And he kind of takes a moment, kind of gives you all a nod, takes his coat, and you watch him kind of leave the store, or leave the guardhouse.
As he does, Grotus turns back over towards our new Kessex and goes,
What sort of monster are you trying to hunt down anyways?
Any.
Just
And he says that through a big smile, again, emphasize on the missing tooth.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me that you're a real life knight?
Probably not a knight in the sense that you recognize it, but yes, I have been knighted by my order.
Well, that's mighty impressive. Anything interesting you may have seen or done?
I've hunted down many beasts in a jungle. I've trained to keep balance and will strong. It's basic knight stuff. Outside, it's only a recent promotion.
His smile is bright and gleaming, as he just kind of looks on with most of the things that he says, frankly, with wonder, and is just like, if you don't mind, I would absolutely love to pick your brain for some stories at some point.
You can when I have stories to tell.
What's your
Kind
goal
of gives
here?
an odd look at that, but he just nods. Go ho.
Oh, just he after Xavier says his bits, Gallo nods his head. And what's your goal here?
What's my what?
What is your goal?
My goal for now is coin to fund my travels, and
No, what is your ultimate goal? Are you trying to be a hero? Like some people here, are you building up a name? Is there a position and power that you want? What's your goal?
no name building for me. It's a duty.
A duty to who? Or
There's
what?
a solemn look on his face. The general cheerful disposition that he has it flashes away for just a minute, and it's a duty to the people of the realm.
You're having this conversation still in the guardhouse. Scyther just kind of turns to your friends. Is like, that one's kind of rude, isn't he?
That one?
Wait, Scytha is looking at Gallo and asking this question?
Scyther's like saying it off to the side to whoever else is listening. Just as
Yeah.
you're asking question after question.
I would say that he just says he's intense, that's for sure.
At least I know who he's working with.
New friends can be curious. I understand that. I have not gotten your names.
I like to have information so I know what I'm dealing with. He gives Scytha a side eye and looks back to Kessex. Gallo.
My name is Julius Bone de Clare.
grow December beard.
Do you want to go first, or am I?
Oh, I don't particularly mind. And he just kind of goes ahead and with a tip of the hat, he just says, "Name's Xavier. Nice to meet your acquaintance. What was it, Sir Odd?"
Sir Odd, Kessex, if it's easier on you.
I'm not greatest with names either way, so both work. But either way, nice to meet your acquaintance.
It is, and he'll look to Maxie.
Moon's down a mountain hop. Pleasure to meet you. And I'll outstretch his hand.
It's quite the pleasure to meet all of you. I'm happy to have found somebody to work with. This town is mainly filled with blue collar, not many willing to venture out.
Well, some people like the comfortable life, and, well, then there's us.
I mean, I still like the comfortable life.
Well, not clearly as much since you're out here. Kinda gives
That
him a
is
clap on
fair.
the shoulder.
That is fair.
Well, in any case, I think it's about time we get ourselves going. Every minute we waste could be a minute that, our former employee might be in more danger.
Well, it's getting dark, isn't it? Shouldn't we just spend the night in town and then head out in the morning?
It's definitely later in the day.
You say
Right.
one of the main problems on the road is goblins and stuff. I don't think it would be too smart to go on right about it.
I don't mean to push you one direction or the other. Like I said, I'm here to follow you, but if your friend is lost, alone, and troubled, the night may be the most dangerous time for him.
If
How many
I'm not
hours in the day would you
mistaken,
say we have left before dusk?
Like 2.
They want to work on something more here, but
perhaps we could just kind of get on the road and, well, kind of move from there. Maybe set out camp just a little bit outside. I mean, I agree with Mr. Kessex over here. There's definitely a bit of a priority list that we're gonna have to follow. I mean,
well, how about this? Why don't we put it to a vote? All in favor of going to find him now? Say aye.
I hate to be rude. Could you not do this in my office?
Oh, yeah, well, we'll
Oh,
head out.
yeah. I forgot we were here. I thought we were heading out somewhere.
You didn't leave now.
Pardon us. Have a
Be
good
careful if you're going out at night, by the way. Goblins ain't the only dangers in those woods, God knows it. More than enough rooms, if you're looking at the Shaftesbury spot. More than enough folk that go around town. Might have heard something for your friend. You're cool.
Alright. We leave the office.
Okay.
question.
Great house.
Wait, question before we do. Are there any small wooden objects that probably wouldn't be missed inside?
Roll a perception check.
Oh dear.
You are a pyromaniac.
I don't know what that is.
I mean, that's a fire thing, isn't it?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, pyromaniac is basically someone who likes to set things on
No.
fire.
I don't
He's
know.
fucking with you.
He's fucking with you.
See, sarcasm. I don't know what that is.
The only things we kind of noticed during the conversation, it does seem she has kind of this wooden base with like a steel top candle holder. Other than that,
Shit.
nothing really small.
He kind
The
He
there's no
kinda
candle on it
fidgets.
right now, and it's not lit.
of okay. He kind of fidgets a little bit, but he holds down his own hand and kind of walks.
I gotta enchant like a wooden ball for you, so that way, like when you burn it, it'll like regenerate.
Beautiful.
Bella will as they're walking out, he rolls his eyes, just like, are you going to fidget any more than you are already?
I ain't fidgeting. You're fidgeting.
You're fidgeting.
You're fidgeting.
Oh, for the love of God. Can we just continue our conversation real quick?
I'll ask later.
Anyway. So, all in favor of finding him now and leaving now? Say aye.
Sure. Aye.
Hi.
All in favor of staying in town to prepare? Say aye. Aye. All who don't care either way, say aye.
Oh, do I get a vote in this? I'm simply here to just follow y'all's lead.
You're part of the group. You are not a follower, you are one of us. So, what is
Well-
your vote?
My master always said I was foolish and the dark doesn't scare me, so I vote we leave tonight.
And I'll just go with what everyone wants to go with.
Alright.
Future reference. Sorry, I'm kind of a bit of a loud snorer.
Oh, God, yeah. Alright. Let's go get the horses and the carriage and we'll head out.
Well, we're doing this since we are considering preparations. Who was it that put up dancing lights? Was it Moonstone? Or was it Xavier?
Nobody had dancing lights. You
Neither.
were thinking
Nobody
of fairy
did.
fire.
Okay, very far. Okay. Let's see.
I am not
Some
doing
of
that
us-
to light up the area.
We have some that can see in the dark. It looks like Kessex. Are you one of those people? I assume not.
Actually, Grodus will say, I don't think we should take the wagon in this case. I think 3 horses, two people per horse will make us move faster.
Yeah, but the carriage gives us cover. If nothing else, we can always hide in and fight a defensive battle if needed.
Aye, but then we have to stick to the roads. If we went through the forest, we might not be able to move it through.
We
Yeah,
have
but
to
then you
look
take a-
for him in the forest, remember, Moonstone.
Well, didn't he take a carriage to the forest? If I remember
No.
correctly.
He and his associate walked.
Oh, never mind. I'm remembering this wrong. Alright, I see what you're saying.
Aye, the carriage ain't gonna do much help, but a pair of 2 of us on a horse, those of us with dark vision take the lead.
What
Yeah,
are
I
our
wish I
horses
had
trip
that.
up if we're running them through the dark?
We trot them
Yeah.
through the dark, not full speed run there.
Yeah, and as long as they have a little bit of light, I mean, and he kind of like fidgets around like a little bit, but he's just like, any of you got a torch? I could maybe light the way. I handle the horses good anyway, so.
I got a torch, but in any case, I'm not supposing we ride out through the entire night, but we should get a few hours in at least.
Oh yeah, of course. We don't want to throw ourselves off schedule, so to speak.
We'll get far enough in, find some sort of lead or at least direction where we want to go, spend the night, head out.
Sounds about right.
Alright, the horses.
So we'll
Okay.
go down and grab the horses, Chris.
Taking the 2 horses that you guys had and then 1 horse of the miners.
Wait a minute. Did we have 6 horses total, didn't we?
Yeah, but 2 of them were yours. 4 of them were the miners.
That is. Oh, okay. They're the miners' horse. I didn't know. I'm not sure if they were the miners or.
So
Well,
we're just
yeah,
taking
because like the
two.
4 were used for pulling the miners' supplies. You're not sure if they own those or not.
So we're just taking the 2.
Here, let me ask if I can borrow one real quick. I'll hop into the tavern. Hey, guys! I'll say in Dwarvish.
You eventually find them. It seems that they're back to their usual shenanigans. They're like, "Oh, good. You seen Hellman?"
Actually, it seems like he got lost in the woods on the way here. We're gonna go look for him. Can we borrow one of your horses?
You see the dwarf that you kind of looked at, like trying to turn. He like relays that to Tessel, and Tessel's like, "What do you mean he's lost?"
He never showed up to town. We're looking for him. Can we just borrow one of your horses so we can get? Trust me, we're upset about this as you are. We're gonna try to get him out. We're gonna try to get him back here in one piece.
We don't get paid till after this. I saw you get paid.
He left him go first. I don't know. Listen, I'm trying to do you a favor. I'm asking, can we borrow one of your horses so we can go find him faster?
If that thing dies, I'm going to charge you for it.
Fair. Also, you could probably just have one of Hammond's horses.
Anyway, yeah, you do get one of the horses of the the dwarves.
All right, cool. Thanks. Which one was it? Sugar Cube? Want it?
Okay,
All
so
right.
grab the horses, and then we got to pair up.
Who's riding with who? As I said, us with dark vision should probably be riding the horses up front.
Should there be
I can do it.
one dark vision each horse?
Aye,
Or
that's
does
what
it
I'm
not
saying.
matter?
Yeah. Xavier, you want to pair up with me?
Yeah, sure.
Looks over at Julius. I suppose you're with me, Julius.
Sure thing.
Kessex.
I believe that makes us partners, doesn't it, Gallo?
Hmm.
I'm gonna name you Opal.
Actually, that one's Sugar Cube. Sorry.
He kind of squints. Opal.
Nah,
Well, actually,
it's already gone.
kind
right?
of, he peeks out underneath the horse's legs, looks back up. Sugar cube it is.
Gallo rolls his eyes and gets up on his horse and waits for Kessex to also hop on.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
So given that we know where direction he should have been coming from, we should know which direction to be riding in, where we would be able to if he was making the beeline, he said?
Kind of. It's still like a 2.5, 3-day journey the whole way. But you could certainly attempt to.
Yeah, we're just, basically the gears we're kind of moving out towards. Basically the beeline he took to here is we want to obviously do the beeline the other direction, being the most likely scenario to run across him.
At like a slow pace to look for any signs of.
Sure. For the sake of this, before this, we are going to take a 15-minute break.
Yep, okay. Sounds good.
So we'll get back at the 45 point, and then we'll get everything organized from there. Another little bit, just to get stuff set up for next week. And
Okay.
then call it. So,
Time for
with 2 hours left in the day, you all are going to attempt to brave the Illini Woods. Deep within the woods. 2 hours, you most guess the path that you think you go. But travel is limited, with only 2 hours of daylight remaining. Do you wish to rest, or press through the night?
We should probably get some rest. Don't want to leave ourselves exposed, especially when a couple of us are blind.
Gross kind of thinks over, goes,
Probably. I'm not sure on it this time.
Why not, if I may ask? Sorry, I have to be on my phone for a bit.
oh no, yeah, no worries.
As I said, I'm just worried about time constraints here. We don't know what's going on with him. I suppose
But we get ourselves into a bad situation, we're not going to be any help to him.
Yeah,
We could travel
personally. Go ahead.
As I keep going.
No, go ahead.
we can travel for 2-3 more hours into the night. I don't think that'll inhibit anyone's sleep for a while. Just to get a little more progress, but not enough to hinder our rest.
that, or we set up now, get to bright and early in the morning, I suppose. But either way, I don't want to waste a lot of time.
Well then, all in favor for waking up early. Say aye.
Alright.
We're gonna have to buckle down eventually, so
And all...
Oh, fair enough. I'll agree with you then.
You lots are a very democratic party. I'll go with the majority here. This is, after all, your friend.
Yeah, that's a
friend's a
strong
bit of a
word.
stretch. Yeah.
Employer, that's all. Alright, so we have 3 to wake up early. Then it's settled. Let's camp now.
So Grotus will do what he...
Do we want to set up for
So out here, they said the bigger issue, Chris, just reminded, our big issue we're usually worried out here are monsters and wild animals tend to be the bigger danger in the forest, they were saying, is what I get.
There's animals of all kind. You've seen the fact that there's wolves in these woods before, as well as the goblin population. People don't know exactly where the goblins are either. It's not a safe wood.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get in Grotus's head whether or not this is a good spot for a fire to keep animals away, or no fire to make sure we don't draw attention from goblin attacks.
It's very much you kind of have to choose here, right?
Yeah,
if
that's
you're using
why
a fire, you get a sense a lot of bestial creatures will try to ignore you, but it might draw goblins. Other way around for everything else.
Exactly. That's why I was asking. Like, this is a place known for beasts because it might be more beneficial. For
For the sake of it, roll a history check. Let's see if you learned anything before coming.
Okay. God, I have yet to roll a
6?
good history
yeah.
check.
You don't know, man. Unfortunately.
I think I'm more comfortable facing down some goblins than anything else.
Fair enough, we'll light the fires. Either way, we'll keep ourselves on watch. With half of us not being able to see at night, it's probably the safer bet.
Aye.
Don't worry about fires. I got them.
Speaking of, you're fidgeting.
Can we drop that, please?
I
Just looks
see.
at Gallows and just says, and just kind of gives him a look of just leave it be.
In any case, Xavier, you want to give me a hand setting up camp? I need to find a good site.
I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
Oh, I said, Xavier, you want to give me a hand setting up the camp? We need to find a good site.
Yeah, sure. I take it from what I've heard, y'all want to make sure we stay away from less goblins, more. No, the other way around. Less animals, more goblins.
Frankly, I just want a good site to make sure we're defended if we get attacked either way.
Right. Well, either way.
Fair enough.
Okay, so I'd like survival check at advantage to find a good campsite, Chris, or...
Sure. That's fair.
17. That's pretty good.
17? Definitely not bad. The woods are thick here. From what little bits you've heard with a 6 history check, you know that a lot of people aside from the expansion of Teleburg itself, it's very hard to make anything in the Aliani woods or forest, just because of the fact of how dense the brush and trees are. It takes a lot more work to clear land than it does in some other woods or other thing. With that, kind of searching through, it doesn't take long before you find what is a semi-defensible position. Clearly, harsher weather has caused some destruction, and you do find a kind of a point where it seems that a number of trees have kind of fallen over simply due to each other's weight and almost kind of form like a barricade on one side. It's, not the best protection, but if you're looking for just random in the forest protection, it's pretty good.
Hey, perfect. We'll set up camp there.
While they're away, Moonstone will look at Gallows and just be like, "I don't work on something that happened with his fidgeting. Just leave it be for now."
I'm curious, is all, but
So Tick, I want to look into it.
If it has nothing to do with the mission, it's fine. But he's been doing it a lot lately.
I'll talk to him. I'll take a watch with him and give a talk to him, see if I can get to the bottom of it. But don't come off aggressive. I don't think he responds well to that.
He thinks about it for a moment and tilts his head. Aggressive.
Give a softer side, I'm sure he'll open up to you.
Alright. I'll work on it. I got it.
Alright, good to hear. Awesome. How are you doing?
Fine. It's a job.
Honestly, you seem pretty well held together.
Don't have much to really be tense over to begin with. I mean, I understand I'm not the most friendly of the bunch here. And frankly, I don't aim to be as long as I'm off duty, per se.
That's fine. Just keep in mind that people remember things, alright? Doing well,
Of course.
remember that. But,
I know.
Just make sure you take
Okay.
care of yourself too. I know you have your way of handling stress and pressure, but looks
He
at him.
shrugs.
He looks at him though. It's just like anything crosses your mind that you won't talk about. I've known you for a while. Don't feel worried to come to me about it.
looks him up and down. And it's not that there's disbelief in his eyes, but just more distant. And again, he gives a shrug. I'll consider it. At the moment, my mental state is well stable. I should be fine.
Alright, just making sure. Yeah, it is now that you want all the songs were traveling together. Also, how's that bow treating you?
Doing me real well. Good craftsmanship. There's little resistance, so it's a straight shot.
Well, better be. We're damn hard on that.
No, I would let you know if it's shit. It's not.
Oh, trust me, I know.
Mm.
Good talk.
He pauses for a second, and then before he turns around, what about you?
I'm perfectly fine. Besides, a little annoyed with Julius there.
Well, that's not unusual.
Yeah. Tried
Don't
being-
let it...
I mean, I gave him my best shot. I tried to ask him what's going on with him. His gold and all that, but fuck it, I tried.
Well, that's up to him to decide. If he
No,
wants to open up to you or not.
It is. I'm just saying. Let it not be said I'm not trying.
Alright. Acknowledged. Alright. Well, who are you doing watch with? A little
Kensik.
curious.
Kensik. Kensik? Kensik.
Kessex.
Kensik.
Kessex, yeah.
Kensik. Hey, Kensik.
Yes.
Want to do a watch with me?
Sure.
Alright.
Alright. So, Moonstone and Kessex on first watch?
Sounds
Second
good.
watch?
I'll say Grotus will take second.
I want to take second with him.
Okay.
Okay.
Actually, no, I don't think Gallo and Xavier have done it yet, have they?
Technically, we've only had one set of watches so far for most of it, or two sets, I guess.
That is true. Shit.
Because only Grotus has been on a watch with Julius, and Grotus has been on a watch with the dwarf woman. Nobody else.
Yeah.
And Gallo is, if anyone wants to watch with him, that's fine. He is more than willing to do a watch on his own as well. But
technically, it'd be whoever is left gets Julius, because
Yes.
that would.
oh yeah.
You said
If Julius is-
silence for the night.
I suppose.
Not looking at each other.
So,
I suppose with
Those
Grotus
are-
then.
Okay, I guess we'll take second. Xavier and Grotus will take second watch.
okay. And then, sadly, Gallo, you'll be with Julius.
Again.
I'm sorry!
No, it's okay.
Well, considering Nikki's not here for the scene anyways, I suppose nothing lost?
Yeah, I mean, if
Uh.
anything, they're probably not going to talk in this case.
Yep.
But we can always skip it too if, roleplay reasons, if something happens.
Well, sure, here, we'll do the first two watches, and then we'll end at the third watch, so that next week, Nick can come in.
Oh,
Okay.
sounds
and
good.
talk. So, for those on the first watch, will you please roll perception?
And then
Disadvantage if you don't have Darkwood.
it's definitely a disadvantage.
Natural 20.
Nice.
Oh, actually, wow, okay.
So I will say that Kessex is not paying attention when he does his. He leans up against a tree, he sits down cross-legged. He will draw his saber and he will sharpen it with his whetstone.
Sure thing.
Moonstone, while he's taking the watch, will be working on a design. Can he try to design like a wooden ball that, like, even if it gets burned, it'll be able to kind of like regenerate itself to a certain
That's
point?
less of a design and more of a magical feature you'd have to try to work on.
I would also like to note that really none of you have actually really gotten to see the pyromania side of his burning.
No, but we have noticed you like to burn things, and you seem to be fidgety when you aren't doing that.
That's fair. That's fair judgment.
Could I start working on what I need to do for that enchantment?
You can start trying to work on it. Sure, roll an Arcana check. 21. So the idea of regenerating wood depends very much on the size. You could probably make something a small kind of ring or something else that you could use that would be able to essentially use the prestidigitation cantrip to create a small thing that you could burn it, and then it would fade within probably about 10 minutes. That would definitely be the easiest way to go about it. You could have it have the illusion that it's being continuously burnt, giving off the smell of it. Very much depends on exactly kind of what kind of style you want to go for and how complicated you want to get with this stuff.
I'm just looking like a little wooden ball that someone can fidget with, and then as they burn it, it will be able to regenerate itself, so they can keep burning it. I'm basically trying to give him a fidget toy for his burning himself.
I understand. Yeah. So you essentially, from what you gather, the easiest way to do it would be to have just a ring that basically allows people to do this one specific version of prestidigitation, create the small wooden ball, burn it, and then recreate it as needed.
So I don't know if you want input, but you could also invent matches.
I was about to say.
I mean, those already exist.
Oh, okay.
So basically, I'm just making a wooden ball every time and just handing it to him, and then just making another one.
No. You could give him the ring. It would just be about slightly enchanting a ring, and then they'd be able to use that ring to make the ball, burn it, and then make the ball and just burn it, make the ball, burn it, make the ball, burn it.
Okay, so they're allowed to. So it basically make.
Yeah, no, it'd be like a magic item for them.
Okay.
And it would. You get a sense it'd be pretty simple. You imagine if you stopped at a place that had the supplies for it, you could probably do it with 20, 30 gold.
Okay. Probably not anytime soon.
You also get a sense that you can try to work on it to try to make the design a bit tighter. Try to work on the needed metals for it, and if you kind of get try to eliminate essentially the amount of materials you need to use for it.
I'm assuming that's probably something I can't do tonight.
No, your first one gave you the idea. These ones later it'll be just to refine it, to use less metal on it, and thus kind of saving you money on it. All right. With that.
Oh, did I get nothing on my perception?
Oh, I thought you made one. Yeah, you did make one.
Yeah, no, as if he saw anything.
No, I'm saying, I don't see anything at the start of your watch. You can do what you wish, and I'll tell you if anything happens.
Alright. So, Keswick? Am I saying that right?
Keswick.
So,
the surname may be easier for you to remember. It's just odd.
Sir Odd.
Yes.
Alright, Sir Odd. So tell me a bit about yourself. You said you don't really have any stories to tell of monster hunting.
Not yet. No great deeds of my own. Most hunts I've been privy to have been mainly my master's. But one day I may have something interesting to tell you.
Well, what about him? Does he have any good stories you're privy to?
Being in these woods, it does remind me. We once hunted a beast that would devour those that slept within the jungle. We had to poison ourselves. The beast was unseen most of the time. Nobody ever saw it coming, but they would awake, and one of their compatriots would have been eaten. My master decided to walk out into the jungle one time, and we poisoned ourselves, and we laid on the ground until the beast came. And when it bit us, it tasted nothing but foul, ugly poison. And when it recoiled, we were able to witness it and slay it.
Oh my, what was it?
I don't know.
Oh, can you describe it? Maybe I figured it.
Can you describe an empty space? A shadow? all it really was to me.
Knocks on eyebrow. Is he being truthful when he tells the story?
You can roll an insight check. 14. Dylan, you can decide if he is needing a deception.
No,
You can decide what he gets with.
no deception. It's genuinely truthful. He's not really giving any inclination why. He doesn't know what the beast was, but like he said, he was just there to assist in the hunt.
So, it's a really interesting way to go about hunting. Well, no, I say it's a really interesting way.
I don't know. Well, sometimes putting yourself in the most amount of danger can be the best solution. Not always, but sometimes.
I think I understand what you're getting at. I can respect that. Me, I'm more of a problem solver. I like to make things, try to get things working in certain ways to solve problems.
Is that what you scribble in that book there?
Yeah, this? Yeah. And I'll kind of show him the folding shield design that I've been working on. Not sure if this makes any sense to you, but...
It's a compact shield. The others, where I came from, in my order, some of them focused on designs like this. Chris, I have a question. Are firearms a common thing?
No, firearms do not exist.
Okay, never mind. Then crossbows, repeating ones, some that would catch fire as they fired, and stuff like that. It was never my knack, but nonetheless, it was an option.
That's actually a really interesting idea. Moonstone starts like just jotting down a few notes, a few pages down.
Sure.
There's a lot of the times 100 ways to kill a beast, 100 ways to kill a beast, but you really only have to be good at one of them.
Well, I'm a bit of an inventor and a bit of a tinkerer, enchanter. Whatever you really need to get things done, but I don't know. You got any ideas? You need anything done? My services are always for hire.
I'll be honest, I wouldn't say no to that shield if that ever became an operational thing.
Well, me and Grotus might be working on that soon once we get paid and get into town. If you find any scrap metal lying around, let us know. We can probably put that to good use.
Good, I'll keep a vigilant eye out.
So just kind of gives a nod. Anything else? Always looking for ideas.
I mean, obviously, a concealable light source might be helpful for situations like this.
You talking about like a hooded lantern where maybe you can just sort of like turn on a bulb and then some shades come down?
Something I wouldn't have to hold would be particularly helpful.
I could probably put... Well, if you put a leather belt around you, I could probably attach something to that, put it on your chest, have a few mirrors in there so the light keeps bouncing around until eventually it finds its way out. Should create a nice bright light in front of you. Maybe put a little slider on there so you can turn it off when you need it to be a little quieter. Yeah.
Kessex will smile and he'll just... I like the way your mind works, Mooney.
I prefer if you just call me Moonstone.
Moonstone it is, then.
No offense, friend, just, the name's fine.
The Moonstone it will be.
Thank you, Sir Old.
I think with that, unless you have something else to say, our watch will finish up. And...
I will note, this is not important at all, but I would just like to note that Xavier's legs are poking halfway out, almost to the knee, from his tent. That is all.
The more anxious he gets, the further out from his tent he gets.
You also hear just a nice whistle of a fart. It's beautiful.
Anyway, but no, gonna know you, Kissick.
And here's to many more friendly conversations.
Here's to the friendly more conversations.
And Kessex will go find a place, or yeah, pretty much stay where he is. He will put his sword up and he will pull out his ration, which is just like a moldy piece of bread, and he'll pick the mold off of it and
Oh my god.
eat.
Sorry, what? Cut out there, Dylan.
Oh, my bad. Kessex is just going to eat his ration, which is just a moldy piece of bread, which he'll rip a chunk off of and pick the mold off and eat around it.
Sure thing. Easily able to do so.
That's my
that-
one ration that I bought.
Mate, do you need... Moonstone's gonna see that, just like... Do you just want some of mine? They're clean.
This is fine for now.
Oh, you got any more?
I can find more.
If you say so, but if you need some rations, don't be afraid to stop by. Also, we use like 4 days worth of rations, right?
Yeah, but there was some supplied for you as well.
Okay. So I'm
I
still
remember,
at
if it makes you feel better, I remember Grota's bought or went and gathered food for y'all the first night.
Yeah, Grotus is capable. My survivability lets me feed the party if we're foraging in the forest like that.
Yeah, you
Alright,
guys are
because
fine.
yeah, because I haven't touched my
Unless it's in a situation where such thing isn't possible, I usually don't keep high track of it.
Okay.
But I will say, as we do finish up the night, Kessex does not lay down when he does go to sleep. He's going to stay propped up on the tree with his back to it, and he'll pull his blanket over him. And as Moonstone is going to bed, he will mutter something to him in Primordial. I don't know if you'll understand it, but he will just tell you "Na Lumbra Vincit" as our watch finishes.
Moonstone will reply in undercommon and just be like, I don't understand that. But, good night.
Kessex doesn't understand you, but he does give a smile and a nod.
Alright then. I like this guy. Goes, wakes up the next ship, goes to bed.
All right. With
Yeah,
that,
what's happening?
Time to get out.
Right.
Good night, all.
Grotus gets up too, walks over to the camp, sits down.
Well, I guess we better get this watch going then.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, Chris. Were you saying something?
no, you guys are good.
All right, just making sure. Yeah. And he just kind of sits nice and close to the fire and just kind of takes a nearby stick and kind of just brushes through, kind of feeding the oxygen to the flame.
Grotus says, he goes, once again, as he sits down, just kind of reaches his bag and pulls out some of the jerky he always keeps on him.
I will say, after setting the fires, he is noticeably relaxed in comparison. Not that Grotus was particularly focused on what he was doing.
Yeah, Grotus looks over. Just kind of takes a chunk and looks over at it. She goes,
A little fidgety around you not around the fires, are ya?
He kind of clenches his jaw and yeah, kind of am.
kind of looks at Piepedale, goes,
You know, it's none of my business, obviously. Your own Joan, but, well, I mean, you have that powder of yours that creates the flames like that.
What was the last part he said?
Oh, it's like you have that powder of yours that create flames and all that, but, I'm assuming it's related in some way.
Um. uh. Well, to be completely truthful with you, my understanding of the depths of magic ain't really too good. And he kind of thinks for a moment, and it's just like, it's like, as I go through my days, there's like this heat that wells up over time, kind of distracting from the pain at least. But it wells up, and I don't know. It just eventually it kind of just, I don't know. I feel like I need to char something at least once a day before, I don't know. I ain't ever gone for that long. I mean, you can always find something to char, but I don't know why I do it.
Curtis kind of looks at you and nods.
You know, to describe impulses to me, I've had more than a few myself.
He kind of like shrugs at the word impulse, but kind of looks up and, what do you mean? You said you have impulses?
Well...
You seem pretty put together, so...
That's fair, I guess. Well, you know I'm an orc, part orc, obviously. It's not exactly something I'm hiding.
Yeah.
Well, orcs are a bit, the blood's a little chaotic, I guess you could say. Back when I was a kid... Like when I was a kid, I used to have to smash something or break a face or, you know, get in a fight. Had to let it out almost. A rage inside of me, you could say.
Huh. That's real interesting. And you say it's because of your orc side? Or am I misreading?
Well, as far as my father was able to tell me, it said probably had to do with my orcish heritage. They're a chaotic lot. It doesn't help when their god is a one-eyed bastard that wants to destroy everything around them.
That does sound mighty intense, that's for sure. I could have never guessed, though. You always seem to be pretty put together. I mean, yeah, sometimes people, and by people, you know exactly what I'm talking about, say something that pisses you off, and, well, you look like you're about to break them. And he kind of like laughs semi-humorously, semi-nervously. But I don't know, I never took you for that kind. But I mean, I suppose impulses can come from just about anywhere.
Well, to be fair, I've curbed it over the years a bit. And honestly, things like that little goblin encounter we had, well, it does wonders to curb the impulse.
He kind of like listens to that and just kind of nods slowly. I don't. Well, fortunately for me, my little conniption, it ain't require living material. Well, since you know, you probably caught me, but that weird flesh kebab thing, I was feeling real fidgety by then, and by the time I started burning it, everything, the heat in my chest, just kind of settles down. But I never thought that I don't know. I ain't never met anyone, I mean, quite like myself, I suppose. I mean, we're plenty different. For one, you are pretty damn proficient with your weapons and whatnot, and, well, I'm barely just above using my hand. But, that's, thanks, Brodus.
Kind of looks up and smiles.
Yeah, you're welcome, Xavier. I have to admit, you're a good friend, or at least good person to talk to, I have to admit.
at hearing the first little slip, looking in nowhere particular. At first, he was just kind of staring into the flames, occasionally his eyes flickering over to him. But he kind of looks over at him at that bit, and a little smile just kind of appears on his face. It's just, nah, you got it right the first time.
Grotus kind of just smiles at you. Goes,
I suppose so.
Want to know something?
Sure.
You see, it's actually kind of funny, but my name was based off of actually my daddy that I never actually knew, but my name's actually Javier. It's just that I've kind of found out pretty quickly that upon leaving actual home, I guess J's don't really transfer that well in most languages. So I kind of just went with this moniker, so to speak.
Fair enough.
he kind of smiles at you.
Well, if you're sharing your name, I guess I could share a bit of mine, Jay.
Kind of.
Mhm.
Well, you might have been up. You're probably wondering why I was a little short with Julius back there when they were making fun of me name a bit.
Why?
Well, it's kind of an important name my father gave me. It's actually a combination of two languages.
Really?
Hey, you'd probably recognize the second half of the name. The first part is in giant. The abbreviation of GROW is Goramakus. It's giant for endless growth or potential. Or endless in growth. Well, the second half is short for Dusmarak, which is dwarven for potential, as you may know. My dad named it for me because he said I was going to be the endless potential he wanted me to be.
Don't mean to be rude, or presumptuous, so to speak, but you got a surname?
Aye, I've mentioned it to you before. Emberbeard.
Emberbeard. Alright. Emberbeard.
Beard, yeah. Dwarven name. It's my dad's name.
Yeah, for a moment I caught on to your pronunciation of it. It's strong, so to speak. I mean, like I said, I just kind of have a slew of names. I mean, think of it. Javier Enrique Lazaro Valiente. It's just a slew. That's why I just go ahead with my first.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful.
Yeah, so to speak. But seriously though, and he kind of like looks up and down at the flames before he kind of, I don't know, where is Grotus in relation to Z?
I'd say we're probably just sitting across from each other at the flame.
All right. If that's the case, sitting across.
Or near each other in the area. Basically, I sat down. You could pick where you want to be next to Grotus.
Oh, he basically was sitting by him then.
Yeah.
But I guess in that way, he's just he just goes ahead and raises a hand to shake his, and he's just like, well, nice to meet you again, so to speak.
Kind of looks down at your hand, and you just see kind of the little tusks poke out under his mouth as he smiles at you and grasps your hand in his.
I will. Is it a tough grasp?
Probably knowing Grotus is the fact that he has an 8 dexterity means he doesn't do anything gently.
Okay, so immediately that smile contorts into constipated look as he's just like, ow, 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 ow.
Sorry about that. I forget my own strength at times.
You sure as hell do. I should mention, I don't care who actually knows, but Xavier is just generally speaking easier for just about everyone I ever met, so you don't got to change what you call me. That being said, friends back at home call me Javi. So
Javi.
Kind of looks at it.
Kind of like and he kind of thinks about like a habanero.
oh wait, hold on. It's actually, sorry, I forgot. It's kind of real dark. Should probably keep an eye.
He kind of laughs. Fits for you. The habanero pepper, spicy and fiery as hell.
He kind of, for the sake of entertaining, he just kind of puts his hands on his hips and kind of just looks, and it's just like, well, I don't particularly see any embers in your beard, so either I'm being misled or you're misleading me.
He looks up at you and smiles.
You should see me at the forge.
He kind of like points at a couple of the burn scars on his face.
There have been embers in his beard more than once.
Gee, what are you doing, man? I don't understand how you and Moonstone can just have all these damn splashes and burns on yourselves. Do you practice caution?
He laughs. You haven't tried forging a blade before.
Nah, I mean, yeah, I'm kind of all about fire, but, I mean, it looks like it hurts. I can barely go without burning myself.
He kind of looks at you.
Well, I mentioned I'm strong, but I'm a little clumsy. Occasionally the embers get a little out of control on me.
Right. Well, geez, I don't know if I can maybe help that at some point, but definitely make sure to watch out. All right.
I wouldn't worry. It's been a while since I've been feeling a lot of physical pain.
All right. Just hope to keep it that way. Hey, you got that cooking, whatever that liquid was that you gave me?
Oh, the cooking alcohol.
Yeah.
I got some left.
Yeah, I got some early in my eye, and he kind of takes a little bit and splashes it just like a little bit over his eye, over his face. And just kind of rubs it as if it's like a basic face wash, and he's just, ooh, all right. Like the smell, kind of.
It's just cheap stuff, really. It's good for bringing out some flavors and some special types of pasta, stews, and some various sauces.
So, I may be mishearing you, but I'm pretty sure that means that I'm delicious now. And just flashes a grin at him. He's very much in a very jokey mood now.
Grotus kind of smiles at you.
Hey, probably getting nice and tenderized and all that.
Damn, now I really hope we don't run into any goblins. They're gonna want me first then. Ugh.
Oh, I'm probably a little tough for them at this point.
I'll just make sure to sit behind your fucking 1,000-foot ass whenever they come.
Honestly, next time they come up, I'll probably make sure they're a little more prepared for me.
As he picks up a stick and just kind of crushes it into like nothing more than a paste in his hand.
He just stares. There's like, that one wasn't even charred. What the fuck? He just kind of scratches a little bit at his arm and whatnot. It's just before he just kind of finds himself just kind of a quiet clasp on his shoulder. It's just, well, that being said, nice to reintroduce.
Yeah, indeed, Hab. It's good to have a friend.
He just gives him another bit of a smile before he kind of goes back to pushing the flame.
Yeah. And I guess we'll take our perception checks.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Time for nat ones!
We can only hope.
Yeah, 20!
Yo,
Well,
me and Grotus are on fucking.
Yeah, and another 20. Alright. So, here's what I'm going to say. I think between the two nat 20s and the regular, definitely earned something. But I unfortunately will have it be done during the last watch so that it's more time to do it, so to say.
Oh,
Okay.
that is fair.
Simply remind me next week. I, of course, will hopefully plan for it. We'll see. It's always a roller coaster. But with that, with those checks and with your talks done, I will ensure that something is spotted next week, and we will have it done then.
Nice.
Okay.
Ooh.
All
So is that the
I
game
hope you
for
all
the day?
enjoyed. That's the game for the day.
Oh, no, I loved it,
Nice.
man. Fun as always.